One. Good evening. Good evening. How you doing? This is Coach Carvel Bailey, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Life and Basketball. And here on this show, what we do is we talk about how both the game of basketball as well as life are synergistic and how they have so much in common and how they play off of one another. And again, what we do on this particular show is we take athletes, former athletes, coaches, former coaches, officials, former officials, as well as those individuals that have added tremendous value to the game of basketball. And we let them share their story of how a little orange ball has helped shape their life and oftentimes save their lives as well. And so the show is being brought to you by Bless the Ball Skill Development Academy, where we help parents of unrecruited or under-recruited student athletes save money on college by helping their athlete find the right fit for them. The show is also being brought to you by Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. This is my first book. This is my baby here. The show was birthed from this book. All right. And so in this book, the same way the conversation will go tonight, like it has always gone, the individuals that I bring onto the show, they understand this concept and they teach and was taught by the same concept. It's much, much bigger than basketball. But if we can take some simple basketball principles and be able to apply them in our everyday life, it'll make us so much better and so much more of an effective leader. And so I'll post the links on how you can get not only this book, but an actual book bundle with some other cool things later on in the show. My guest tonight, some people think that things can't be done. We was able to pull this one off tonight. We was able to pull this one off. This is somebody that I've learned from afar for a long time, but also someone that I've been able to get very, very close to and just soak up information and learn from. But not only learn from, I do believe that it's a mutual feeling. And I've also been able to teach just a little bit to this particular individual. Great coaches, just like great individuals, understand that life is always evolving and you can always learn from any and everyone. And this particular gentleman exemplifies that. Somebody that I call a basketball legend in his own right, not only as a player, but definitely as a coach, someone that has been in the game for many, many decades and has an uncanny basketball mindset and just understands how to get athletes going. Somebody that I call a player's coach, someone that players love to play for, and they understand the method to his madness before the season is over. You may not understand it at first, but before the season is over, they understand the method to his madness. And I think this is why he's been so successful. He really embodies understanding life through the game of basketball. So this person is NJCAA Region 4 Hall of Famer, has won over 500 basketball games in his career, has coached on the men's and women's side of things on a college level, has produced a number of All-Americans. Again, I can go on and on and on about the basketball person, but just as an individual, he's a much greater and a much better person than he is a basketball coach. And I think that says a lot. So I am proud to bring to you guys tonight, again, somebody that I call friend, a great coaching colleague of mine, and someone that has been influential in the lives of so many athletes and just families all throughout this country. So I want to present to some and introduce to others my buddy, Coach Darrell Scott. Coach, how you doing, man?
What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
Man, I am doing amazing. Man. First and foremost, let me say that, man, I thank you for coming on. As I said, I think that this one is a shock to a lot of people because you know, I mean, we are, you know, I mean, we broadcasting on so many different platforms right now, but people
Right.
that know you know, you're friendly, but you're personal. And
Right.
so, you know, we were
Right.
able to pull this off and get you on. So I definitely appreciate, I definitely appreciate you, you know, coming on tonight. We are live. That was my daughter popping in, but hey,
It is.
it's what we do. First
Right.
and foremost, man, how are you and the family doing right
Man,
now during these times in the
we are
world?
doing great. We're doing great. Everyone's healthy.
I love it.
Everyone's safe. You know, we're looking out for each other, taking care of each other. And one of the good things about it is that everyone in my family, we all get along great. So we don't have that cabin fever where people are mad at each other or sick and tired of looking at each other.
Yeah.
So, you know, we get along great. My wife have games for us to play. You know, she keeps everybody settled. She keeps everybody on the straight and narrow.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. That's great. That's amazing. That's a whole nother story, as you said, you know, just having a family that gets along, you know,
Right.
because you know, it can get tough for some people. You know, that's a whole nother conversation, as I
Yeah.
said. But before we get started, man, can you just tell us a little bit about Darrell Scott, the man himself? We're getting to Darrell Scott, the coach.
Okay.
But can you just share with everybody a little bit about Darrell Scott, the person?
Wow. Originally from Gary, Indiana, played basketball at Gary Roosevelt High School for a Hall of Fame coach, Ron Heflin, who was coached by Coach John McClendon, and Coach John McClendon worked for James Naismith. So, you know, that the history of basketball goes far, far back to the very beginning of the game. You know, I'm a family guy. You know, I have 2 boys. Been married for what 30, 33, 32, 33 years. My wife's gonna kill me for that. But you know, but you know, I'm a family guy. I like to stay, you know, keep my family tight. And you know, from the streets of Gary, who just happened to be led in the right direction by the right people and took advantage of some of the things that were presented to me. And that's what I want to offer to the kids, to take advantage of things that's put in front of you.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, you know, we're going to get into that basketball tree in a minute, but I, you know, think that first thing, you know, you just said a mouthful, you know, to take advantage of opportunity.
Right.
And, you know, even in a city like Gary, you know, I mean, for most people that don't know, you know, they may just know Gary for the Jackson 5, you know, and you know, I mean, obviously,
Hey.
you know, they, you know, did a great job of putting not only the city on the map, but just, you know, understanding that,
Right.
you know, it was really a family oriented community,
Right. Yeah.
you know, at one point. But when you talk about taking advantage of an opportunity, Coach, can you kind of just break that down a little bit in terms of, you know, because oftentimes, and, you know, I want to start with the foundation so that people can understand where we're going to go throughout this, you know, show this evening. But when you talk about opportunity, again, you know, people that may see Gary now may say, oh, man, it's, you know, run down or schools boarded up, things like that. But coming from Gary, like how did Gary, Indiana, such a small town, really, how did that foundation help create the individual that we see today? And then how were you able to pick the opportunities that came from being in Gary? Because a lot of people don't recognize opportunity the same way, you know. But if you can first break down just growing up in Gary, like how did that foundation help mold you into the person that we see today?
Well, you know, Gary coming up was it was rough. I'm not gonna lie, it was rough. You knew who the people were. You knew who the people that would cause you some problems if you got around them. So, my parents provided us with opportunities to do different things, different sports that we played, my brother and my sister and myself. I remember my parents, and we still laugh about it. I ended up in the gifted and talented program. My parents gave me a choice. I either had to take piano lessons or go to Saturday school. And I'm like, who in the heck wants to go to school on Saturday? I'm going all the weeks, it's the weekend.
Right.
But I didn't want to play the piano. So my choice was Saturday school. And getting into that environment, and it was an academic environment. I came across teachers that kept promoting, don't settle for something. If this is what you want to do, these are the things you have to do to get there.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
So are you willing to put in the time to get what you want? So from Saturday school, my parents had me, like I said, had us doing different things. I played bitty basketball. I ran track. They had a youth program called the Mayor Hatcher Foundation. So I played basketball, I think from 6th grade all the way through 9th grade. And I ran track also. I was a much better track athlete than a basketball player.
Okay.
And so, and being put in those competitive environments, you learn that when you put in work, you're rewarded. Absolutely. But sometimes you still may lose. But the question is, did you do your best? Did you reach your goal? If you reached your goal, what more can you complain about?
You really didn't lose.
Exactly. You just wasn't good enough that day, but you are still successful. Yep. So getting a taste of that success started putting me in a position where when I got into the classroom in high school, it became a thing of, I got a 90. And somebody said, I got a 96. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean I'm not the smartest person in the room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me sit. How did you get that 96?
Yeah.
So I want to find out what work did you put in to get that 96, because I want to figure out how did you gain that success. And I took tools I like to call it borrowing from people.
Yeah.
I like to borrow other things from people and add it to what I do to make myself better. So getting into the opportunities of the extracurricular activities, the Saturday school. My parents made me join chess club. I was in the band in high school. So, I did a lot of well-rounded things.
Yeah.
And my parents made sure that we were in those well-rounded positions. We were not pigeonholed into sports. In fact, my father really didn't want me to play sports. His thing was, my father wanted me to go to one high school in Gary. He felt the academics were better. Okay. I wanted to go to a different high school where all my friends were.
Okay.
So we had a deal. The deal was, if my grades go down, I have to transfer. Now, here's the thing. I was a straight A student in 7th to 8th grade.
Yeah.
So going down is I started throwing in some B's. I'm in trouble.
Right.
And the thing is that because I wanted to be with my friends, I did the things necessary. So I ended up in the honors classes, the advanced placement classes. And, I did that all through high school. My grades never went down. Next thing you know, it's time to graduate. When it's time to walk, there was about 500 and something kids in our graduating class. I was number 7. And I was the first male in line. So I had the highest GPA for all male students. Everybody in front of me were females. So, it was once again, it was that competitiveness. It's about being the best. It's about working hard.
Yeah.
So, because once again, my dad gave me an opportunity to do something I want to do, but I had to meet certain requirements and certain guidelines. So it was really great. And it just set me up for teaching our kids that you can do whatever you want to do, and you can't always live by a win. Sometimes when you lose, you actually won.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's powerful, man. Sometimes when you lose, you really won. And especially when you can spot that opportunity, right? Because now what's the teachable moment? I used to always tell my athletes, after a loss, especially, and I still do it with my family, my daughters, like, let's find the positive out of the negative, because it has to be a positive out of the negative if we're going to continue to move on, but in terms of opportunity, some things that I heard you talk about was, Saturday school. That was an opportunity for you to sharpen your sword a little bit, or sharpen that whatever tools you had, that was an opportunity to do that. As you said, if it was chess, if it was band, I played the drums, and band. I played chess also, but these things were, that I'm guessing were helping you become a well-rounded individual, and we get into it on a sports level.
Yes.
Nowadays, so many people, want to specialize. But as you said, you were well-rounded. So, but you saw everything as a competition.
Yes.
But people, again, get kind of, they get it construed. The competition is really against you. You're competing to be your best self. And so, when you said that if you got a 90 and that person got a 95, you ask questions. And I think that that's big because, one, you were humble enough to put that flesh to the side and that ego to the side to say, how can I learn to become better? So can you talk about that, Coach, the importance of asking questions in order to be your best self, if that makes sense?
Right. Well, the thing is that you have to be a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
You will never be in a position where you know everything. You have to learn, and you can learn from anybody.
Yeah.
Someone make a mistake. I can learn. If I see someone put their hand on a hot stove, I've learned I shouldn't touch that. Now, I don't know why I shouldn't touch it, but the way you move, something's wrong with that picture. Therefore, I shouldn't touch it. Now,
absolutely.
You have people that like to learn by trial and error. So some people are going to touch it.
Yeah.
So now when you give me an explanation of, hey, man, don't touch that. That's hot. I don't know the definition of hot because I've never felt hot.
Ooh.
But I'm going to ask you to describe it.
Yeah.
And from your description, I can determine, I think I want to experience that. Or, you know what, I'm going to stay away from that. I leave that one alone.
Yeah.
So the idea of being a lifelong learner, to put things out there, to get people to soak up all my knowledge. I always tell my students and my players, I want you to be better than me.
Yeah,
I want you to be smarter than me.
Absolutely.
Because I want to be able to point to you one day and say, I taught that kid.
Yeah.
I set the foundation for that kid.
Yeah.
And from somebody else's success is a pleasure for me. So just the idea of being well-rounded. I want to be able to be in any kind of environment and be able to participate in any kind of conversation. If we're talking basketball, I can talk about basketball.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about medicine, I can talk about medicine.
Yeah.
If we're going to talk about society and what's going on, I can talk about that. I can talk about politics.
Yeah.
So I can be in a very environment and be able to contribute instead of sitting there with nothing to say.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Or I'm afraid to say something because I'm going to look stupid. Yeah. No, I'm a learned person. I'm a lifelong learner. Yeah. So I ask questions. When I don't know, I ask a question.
Yeah.
Now, if I think you feed me some BS, I'm gonna question you on it.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna ask, well, why does it work that way? And why doesn't it work this way? Yeah. And for people to explain things, if I don't understand, I'm gonna just tell you, I don't get it. But let me look at some more resources to see if someone can explain it in a way that's easier for me to wrap it in my head So now I can talk to you about that thing.
Yeah. And you know, I think that's self-awareness, one, you know, because I mean, you know, you just said so much in that answer, you know, so many nuggets and jewels, you know, that I hope people are paying attention to and taking notes and everything. But in the educational setting, we'd call that like code switching, you know, being able to, you know what environment you're in and being able to kind of switch. And, you know, and now from a basketball standpoint, we'll say like knowing your personnel, right? You know, knowing what's going on. And, you know, a lot of times most young people at this point think that it's like beneath them to ask questions to people, especially people that they may not know or that may be doing better than them, right? Like, you know, I'm gonna ask some questions for, you know, to people that may not know enough as me. As you said, being, you know, you figured out you wasn't the smartest person in the room. Well, people may ask questions to those people that they feel like they're smarter than, because really they want an accomplice, you know, or somebody just validate what they said, as opposed to asking those questions, you know. And I think the one thing that you hit on, those three letters, that one word with them three letters that nobody really pays attention to, which is the number one question you should always ask, is why. You know, we may ask what, how, who, when, but the real question is why. You know,
that's always a very hard question to answer.
It is.
You know, and one of the things I always tell my students, you know, that are kind of hesitant about asking questions.
Yeah.
I always ask them, who is the smartest person in the room? Who do you think is the smartest student in the room?
Yeah.
And they'll tell me. And I said, do you notice that they always ask questions? So if they're so smart, why are they just sitting there just doing their thing?
Yeah.
Why is it that the smart kids always ask questions?
Yeah.
You know, they'll say, so you mean? Yeah, yes, I do. Yep. So they will word it a way to make sure that they have the information in their head. So that's why I always tell kids, if you are smart, you ask questions.
Yeah.
It's when you pretend that you know what you're doing, that determines your intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, I always tell kids, ask, if the straight A student gonna ask a question and you don't have an A, you should be asking a whole lot of questions.
Yeah, and you know, so like, you know, this platform, you know, we have parents of student athletes, you know, we have student athletes as well as coaches. But even from the athletic side, those successful athletes, as well as successful coaches, those are people that ask questions and continue to ask and ask and ask. And they also understand what type of learner they are. You know, as you said, you're gonna rephrase that thing a few times until you can gather that picture, because you understand if you're an auditory learner, you're a visual learner, you know, kinesthetic learner, whatever, you know what's a better fit for you.
Right.
And I think that we really can't find that out until we ask those questions, you know, because oftentimes we're learning how other people may learn, and then that don't fit us, you know, and now, you know, we get all frustrated and everything. But now, so let's get to, you know, you go to Gary Roosevelt, you know, and as you said, you know, you played for, you know, a Hall of Fame coach, Heflin.
Yep.
And, you know, his mentor was, you know, Coach McClendon, and you know, it was a lot of things that I took from Coach McClendon. One of the best things that I love is the 3-on-3 full court, no dribble. Because, you know, you find out who really wanted it at that point, Coach.
Exactly.
You know, they're like, whoa. But, you know, the one thing that my dad taught me that he learned from Coach McClendon, you know, in just his time growing up on the west side of Chicago was really the game is made up of like lines and circles. And when you can really understand and break the court down, now you're playing at an unfair advantage, because now you're able to, you know, use things that other people may not know to your advantage. But you know, you all were damn good. You know, even went, you know, as far as, you know, the state championship.
Right.
Now, when you all did get there, you know, after all that hard work coaching, you get to the state championship and, you know, y'all come up a little bit short. And we've never talked about this, but how much do you still think about that game, man?
Oh man. A lot.
Okay.
You go back and you review some of the things that we could have done differently. You know, could we have changed the defense? Could we have ran a different offense? Should we have gone to box and one? I mean, Scott Skiles had a career night, and it wasn't just against us. The entire state tournament, he carried his team. And you know, so what were some of the things we could have done differently? So you think about that all the time, you know, and you lose the game in overtime, you know. So you think about it, but you know, you can't. You know, there's some guys who are stuck in it who still live
there
in that moment in 1982. They're still stuck in 1982.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to move on. I got a buddy that, you know, he likes to bring up he found the game film.
Wow.
And he's like, hey man, we got to watch this game. Why do I need to watch it? I know exactly what's going to happen. You know, we don't need to see that. You know, Scott Skiles is going to shoot probably a 40-footer in my face to spin the game in overtime. Why do I need to see that?
Yeah.
You know, but you know, you have to move from that moment and keep moving forward. You know, like I said, there's some people that still stuck in that time frame, and they just can't let it go.
Yeah,
you know, that game will never change. It's a lot of people consider it the greatest basketball, the greatest state championship game in the history of Indiana. You know, so it was a great game. It was great to be a part of it. We were just on the wrong side of the score.
Right, and now, you know, Indiana having a great basketball tradition. Everybody understands this. You know, some people call it like the Mecca or like the birthplace at times of basketball. You all made it to the state championship, but I want to talk about the practices because, like, you know, you had, you know, Rolando Thomas that was, you know, five-time Jamma point guard, and you know, and I think that a lot of people only see, even if it's, you know, South Suburban women's team, they see when you guys come out on the floor and lights are on.
Right.
But the hardest battles, if you're running a program right, in which, you know, Coach, you know, Heflin did, talk about practice and how practice each and every day prepared you guys for the ultimate battle.
Well, you know, practice, you had to bring your best every day in practice. Everybody's fighting for playing time.
Yeah. Okay.
If you couldn't do your assignment, somebody took your job. And if you let somebody take your job, you might not get back on the floor. So every practice was always competitive, always hard work. Gosh, I don't think we ever had an easy practice. I don't ever remember having a practice in high school where we just walked in the gym, shot free throws for an hour, and went home.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done that. I remember on Saturday mornings, we would have practice, and in our gym, there were no windows. So we would come to practice at 6:30 in the morning. It would be dark.
Yeah.
And you better not look at the clock, because if you look at the clock, that's just more running.
Yeah.
So you practice, and then when you come out at the end of practice, the sun is shining, everybody's moving around, then you realize we didn't practice for 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, we did all of that work.
Yeah.
And it was about understanding your role, understanding your assignment. And you had to get your job done. You had to do your part for the team.
Yeah.
And it was always doing your part.
Yeah.
We had kids that could score. We had kids that could rebound. We had kids that could handle the ball. but everybody had to defend.
Mm.
Everybody had to defend, and if you couldn't defend, you couldn't play. And Coach Hessel's one of them guys. Old days. The coaches in the old days, man, they will say some things to you.
Totally.
And you just had to bite your lip and just keep playing, or you can cry and go in the locker room, but that's it. You're not coming back.
Yeah.
But it's about how much of your game are you willing to sacrifice for the team?
Mm.
And that's what Coach Heflin was all about. What's your job? My job wasn't to score. My job was to defend. It didn't matter if you were the point guard or a 6'9" post player. My job was to defend. And you took pride in your job. So my teammates, when I did my job, it's like I scored 40.
Yeah.
Because they were like, yes, sir, you did your job. You got to hold this guy down. This guy is averaging 20. We want you to put him in check.
Yeah.
So I hold that guy to 10 points. He's 10 under his average.
Yeah.
So now the team win. All of a sudden, so-and-so scored, 20 points, but so-and-so got locked down because they were 10 below their average. Mm-hmm. So it's just understanding your role and being receptive to your part for the team.
Yeah, I love that, man, because, teams often teams fall apart because people don't know their roles. And, now how important is it? Or let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me rephrase the question. Whose job is it to identify the roles on the team?
I think it's the entire staff.
Okay.
And for, well, let's do it this way. Some coaches want everything to run their way.
Yeah.
I'm a coach that at the very beginning, when I first started coaching, I wanted everything to run my way.
Yeah.
If I say turn right, everybody had to turn right.
Right.
If I say turn left, everybody had to turn left.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to hear anybody else's opinion about what we were doing. As I've gotten older in the game, I've now understand the way I see something, somebody else may see something different. So let's everybody get together, all the coaches, let's talk about where does this kid fit? Where is this kid going to be successful? And let's put them in a position to be successful. Because if they are successful, then their confidence increase. Once the confidence increase, then they believe that they can play. Once they believe they can play, then they can actually play. So the idea of the entire coaching staff, but then we got to sit down with their kid, and get them to understand where we see them and what their role is, and get a feeling for the kid. Are they buying into it?
Right.
Right. Are they buying it? And I tell my kids all the time, my team every year, I'm not going to ask you to buy what I'm selling until you see the product. So I'm going to show you everything that I want. This is what it should look like.
Yeah.
And then when I need them, I'm saying, now I need you to buy into it.
Yeah.
I need you to step in on this kid that's dribble drive and take the charge.
Yeah.
But coach, is going to hurt. And for a few minutes, I'm not going to lie. For a few minutes, it will hurt.
Yeah.
But if the official make the call and that kid get their fifth foul and they have to sit down, you won't recognize that it hurt because everybody's going to be running over there, picking you up, and everybody's high-fiving.
Helping you out,
So are you as a player willing to accept your role? So everybody has to sacrifice. On our level, everybody was their leading scorer in high school.
Yeah.
Everybody can't be the leading scorer on the same team if we're all leading scorers coming. So somebody's going to have to be leading scorer. Somebody's going to have to facilitate. Somebody's going to have to be that rebounder. Somebody's going to have to be that defensive presence.
Yeah.
Who's willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
And I think that, that's a great point. And, we've been knowing one another for a long time now, but, you didn't know what what I was going to say in my intro about you. I didn't know what you was going to judge, but knowing you, and as I said, by the time the season ends, your players understand the method to your madness. It's a process. And as you explain, that role has to be clearly defined
Right.
and, you know, getting them to understand in that role, they can be successful. And from that success builds confidence.
Exactly.
And that confidence builds belief. And from that belief enhances their productivity.
There you go.
I mean, you know, that's a whole workshop there, you know, just on those key points, you know. But as you said, you can't get them to produce until you can show them what you're selling.
Right.
You know, and that goes back to, again, knowing your personnel, knowing who you're dealing with, but also knowing not only how you think so you can see it, but understanding how the people around you think. And so to my point, you all, you know, Coach Thomas went Phi Slama Jama, played with, you know, Clyde and, you know, Elijah Wan, all those guys. You then went to Grinnell College and played basketball and track. And you guys were all focal components of this state runner-up team.
Right.
But you understood the value that you brought and where you could go to be most successful. So, you know, what influenced you then? Because I'm pretty sure at some point, you know, I mean, you probably could have had your choices also, you know. And when I talk to parents all the time, I let them know, you know, it's not just about the D1, because everybody don't fit.
Right.
Same way that everybody don't fit at South Suburban, everybody don't fit, you know, a lot of places. But can you talk about what influenced you to decide to go to a liberal arts and sciences school as opposed to like a powerhouse athletic school?
Well, I'll tell you what, Coach. It's so funny. Like I said, coming out of high school, I was a much better track athlete. You know, we won state all 4 years I was in high school. Okay.
Yep.
So I had a lot more offers. And I'm gonna be honest, I almost went to Georgia Tech.
Okay.
And I was going to go to Georgia Tech on the track scholarship.
Yeah.
So the recruiter came in, talked to me. Yeah, you know, we want you at Georgia Tech. I'm like, okay, Atlanta, I can do that. You know, Georgia Tech, yeah, you know, big school, I can do all that. We're gonna have you running the half. The what?
Yeah.
We're gonna have you run the 800 meters. Oh no, dog.
Right.
I'm a quarter miler.
Right.
And so then it became a thing of, well, let's talk about this. What are you running your quarter mile in? I'm running mine in 49. He's like, our guys are running in 46. Okay, that means I'm last every time.
Every time.
But he said you would make a great half miler. In my head, I couldn't picture that. That just wasn't for me. I could have walked on at Ball State. That's not for me. I had a commission to go to the Naval Academy. I couldn't swim. And they were like, we'll teach you how to swim. I'm like, yeah, the rumor is they just throw you in the pool.
And you figure it out.
And let you figure it out. So I'm not going to the Naval Academy.
Right.
So there was I had to have knee surgery. And the surgeon at the time who did my knee surgery mentioned Grinnell College. He said, you'll like it, a little small school. You'll be able to play any sport you want to play. You'll love it, blah, blah, blah. Close to home. All right, let's go. Well, I went to visit and absolutely loved it. Because the height I am now, this is how tall I was in 8th grade.
Wow.
I was a monster in 8th grade.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But then I forgot to grow. Therefore, going to the NBA, that's not looking good for me.
Yeah.
So then I had the academics. I could go wherever I wanted to go. So I could have gone anywhere and tried to walk on. But I want to go somewhere where I'm going to be challenged academically.
Yeah.
I can still play sports. If something happens, I can walk away from the game.
Yeah.
And my education is not based upon me being in practice every day.
Yeah.
It's based upon me, my academics, my brain. My brain is getting me where I'm going. That's why I chose Grinnell. And I mean, it's the best choice I've ever made. That's where I met my wife. That's where, I mean, they really pushed me. I thought I was a great writer until our freshman writing class. And you write this big thing,
Yep.
you're in the paper, you're like, read that. And it comes back with all this red ink, and what were you thinking when you wrote this? I'm like,
right.
You just butchered my paper.
Absolutely.
And she's like, Mr. Scott, you're not a good writer.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God. So then I had to learn how to become a good writer.
Yeah.
In the process of doing that, you learn who you are as a person.
Absolutely.
When it was time for spring break, I was coming back to the crib or trying to find a job.
Right.
A lot of the people I went to school with was going to Padre Island. They were going to Vail, Colorado to ski. I couldn't afford that. Hell, I struggled to get back home to Gary.
Right.
So, I mean, we just lived completely different lifestyle. And I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Because in the classroom, they needed my help.
Absolutely.
So I can compete with them academically. Yeah. I just couldn't compete with them financially. Okay. And so it is put me in a position where now I'm comfortable. Our finances are good.
Yeah.
But at the time, at that moment in time, I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
So it's once again, it's knowing who I am, understanding. Don't take the first thing smoking. Take your time and wait until you're ready. And it's taking advantage of your opportunities. I could have easily not listened to that doctor.
Yeah.
But he said it's a great place for you. My 4 years there, I don't think I ever locked my door.
Wow.
It was a funny joke. There was this guy's car. He left keys in the ignition. So if you want to go to town to go to the grocery store, you just took his car, drove to the grocery store, you came back. If you got in the car and there was no gas, you took it to the gas station, you put gas in it. Yeah. It was the campus car.
Yeah.
This dude never asked where his car was. But everybody drove his car. So it was a completely different environment from inner city Gary, where you're looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
You're looking at people.
Yeah.
Why? How people flex at you. Like, okay,
yeah.
So it's the idea of getting away from that, where I can focus on me as a person.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't change a thing, man.
Yeah. No. And that's the whole car thing is like, that's the honor system.
Yes.
And when you talk about integrity, character, that's what everybody is doing. And it's, they always say environment is stronger than willpower. And so, able to get out of an environment and go into a different environment. And even though, as you said, in Gary, you kind of knew who you shouldn't be around, you was able to, identify,
right.
And so now, you going to Iowa, from a town like Gary, I'm pretty sure they was moving slower. So, you probably could have, taken advantage of the opportunity if you wanted to, but the environment didn't call for that.
Right.
So it was like, okay, why put myself in that situation? And as you said, what you had talked about earlier, just, growing up and, what your parents taught you, the things take time.
Yes.
And, it took you time to learn how to write. And now learning how to write, your brain got to operate in a whole different way, and the whole creativity thing and, being able to see things before they're finished, before they're done. So that makes a lot of sense. Just, really understanding you, a little bit more. So now once you leave Grinnell College, take us on that path a little bit. Did you get right into the education sector before the basketball? And I'm focused on the basketball, but for people that don't know, you've been a junior high science teacher forever. It seems like. Now, a dean of students and has been
Mhm.
able to come back to,
Right.
home a little bit, as
Yep.
close to home as you can get to,
Right.
the Indiana part.
Right.
But just being that science teacher and a science teacher in a Catholic school. So now,
Yeah.
again, and it's not always changing, and people think, okay, well, if I adapt to my environment, I'm a
Mhm.
sellout,
Right.
but
Yeah.
you can adapt to your environment but still be the thermostat in that environment, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Being a thermostat
Yes.
and a thermometer,
Yeah.
that's, those are two. Do you react to your environment, or do
Mhm.
you help change the environment and atmosphere in which you're in?
Right.
But now, like, how easy of the transition was it for you coming from a school like Grinnell to where you were able to kind of work through the Gary to
Mhm.
now be part of a parochial system teaching
Well,
junior high science?
let me tell you, when I left Grinnell, my plan originally was to go back to Grinnell, okay,
Mm,
and get a teaching degree. I was going
mm,
to go back and get my license to teach.
okay.
So, my dad was like, you need to get a job, you need to get a job, you need to get a job. Okay. So I went to, it was a place called Stauffer Chemicals in Chicago Heights.
Mm,
And I went for an interview and they made me an offer. And in my head, I had a number. If you
right.
meet that number, I'm going to take it. But yeah, I'm going to price myself out the market. Well, the number was more than what I thought.
Oh,
And I'm like, shit, I'm taking this job. So
absolutely.
when I told my dad about it, he was like, wait a minute, you just came out of school and you're going to make double what I've been working. And I've been working for 30 years.
Mm,
So I'm like, yeah. So I did that for, gosh, 5 or 6, 7 years.
okay.
And what happened, I still would have been with that company, but someone left the job and they had me do it for about a couple of months.
Okay.
Then they hired somebody. I interviewed for the job. I didn't get it.
Okay.
All right. So they brought somebody in for the job, but they wanted me to train the person. Wait a minute now. If I'm not good enough for the job, why are you going to let me train them?
Yep.
And
Yep.
their mentality to me was, because you know how to do the job,
Yep.
then I should have gotten the job.
Should have gotten the job.
So, okay, now it's time to go. So I leave Stauffer Chemical and get a job with waste management. Now I'm rolling.
Yep.
So I'm at the corporate office in Oak Brook.
Mm,
So I'm doing some things there where we're disposing of hazardous waste. So I'm signing off for hazardous waste to be either landfill or put in the incinerator. So I'm doing all that. And then they want us to move to Alabama. And I didn't want to relocate. So then I left there and decided, okay, now what?
right.
And a friend of mine said, they need a science teacher at St. Columbus.
Mm,
I don't want to teach no kids.
right.
Okay, here we go. Let's go in and I'm going to price myself out the market.
Yeah.
Go in, talk to the principal. She write a number, said, this is what we can pay you. And I'll write another number on there. I'm like, that's the minimum I start at.
Yeah.
And she said, do you need insurance? I'm like, no, I can take insurance for my wife. What else do you need? I said, I really don't need nothing but a straight salary.
Right.
She said, congratulations. She shook my hands. You've been hired. Let's go talk to the priest. I'm like, wait a minute. You haven't given me a chance to say, I'll take it. But, I went over and met the priest and started there and fell in love with teaching.
Mm,
It's the idea of showing kids that somebody who was just like them
yeah.
can do some of the things that they've only dreamed of doing.
Mm,
I made science fun.
yeah.
Everything was a joke. I started my class off with a joke. Everything was hands-on experience. We were doing stupid stuff. I remember my first month at school, we were talking about physics. We were dropping water balloons out of the second story window. And the principal was like, "What are you doing?" Because I had, the boys down there wanting to try to catch the balloon.
Yeah.
So, they're getting splattered with water. We're dropping the balloons. Everybody's having a great time. We had kids with stopwatches. We measured everything. And we used math because we set up a meter stick.
Yeah.
And the shadow from the meter stick, we did a ratio of the shadow from the wall to take an estimate of the height of the building.
Practical learning.
Dropped the balloons.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What are you doing?" I told her what physics we're doing.
Yeah.
She's like, "Whatever." And the kids start buying into it.
Yeah.
Just like, oh my God. It became so much fun. So leave there, worked at South Suburban with the student support services for a few years, and then went back to Indiana. And once again, 7th grade science. But the difference with this is that I'm in an environment that is 40% Black, 40% Hispanic, 20% white. I can deal with the Black kids and the white kids.
Yeah.
The Hispanic kids were a little different. I had never been in an environment with Hispanic kids. So the difference is I need to learn a little Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
Just little phrases and things of that nature.
If you're really going to be good at your craft.
I have to be able to relate to the kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm trying to speak Spanish. The Hispanic kids will tell me, no, that's not. They will tell me how to say it. And I would make sure, they just enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Kids want to learn.
Absolutely.
If you put it in a position for them to learn, if you make it fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the thing was, my philosophy was put away the textbook. I don't need the textbook. The state standard said you need to know this. This is how we're going to learn it. Okay. We need to talk about momentum.
Yeah.
Let's get a bowling ball and a golf ball.
Yeah.
Put them on the ramp, roll them down the ramp, and let's see which one rolls the furthest.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's going to say the bowling ball.
Yeah.
Well, now they're going to go about the same distance. So it's just the idea of putting all that stuff together and getting kids to see the big picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And using math. The favorite line, Mr. Scott, I'm bad in math. Okay. You go to the store, costs $1.62. You got $2. How much change should you get back? You take 38 cents.
Yeah.
How do you know that? Oh, Mr. Scott, 38 cents. You ain't cheating me. Oh, but you don't know math. You don't know math, but you know money.
Yep.
Money is math.
Money is math. Yeah.
And so the kids couldn't get it until I put a dollar sign in front of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that answer.
Man,
then it's like, okay, when you're doing your work and taking your test, put a dollar sign in front of it. That's cheating. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Put a dollar sign in front of it so you can understand it.
Now, that's a nugget. All right, for any parent that's watching, that your student athlete has trouble in math, like that's a nugget, and it really didn't hit me. I started teaching that. It's ironic that you said that a couple years ago. I'm like, okay, if you really want to learn math, just think of money, because everybody want to make money, but the root to what you said is you got to make learning fun. If it's on a basketball court, if it's in a classroom, if it's at work, if it's at home, like you said, your wife got the game nights and that, so you guys are constantly learning one another, but you have to make learning fun. And science, like everything that we do involves science. People really don't understand, and if it's arts, science, and that's really what basketball is. I heard, Isaiah Thomas break it down one day. He said, when you look at how a person can contort their body in the air, or be able to, get through this little pick and roll or whatever, like it's an art and a science all wrapped in one, to be able to do it and take care of it. But I don't want to get away from that nugget with the math. Convert it to money. make it relatable.
Yes.
And I think that's what you not only do as a basketball coach, but as you just explained, you've been able to do as an educator. You've been able to make it relatable. Oh man, why are we learning science? But if I'm coming to Mr. Scott class and we dropping water balloons or we do rolling balls, well, I'm going to class. Now you're cutting down on kids cutting school, cutting class, the attendance go up, the behavior goes up because they want to be there because they know that one, as you said, you've been in their position and you want them to see that it's possible. So throughout your professional life, Waste Management, the other company, but now you go doing something that you really didn't think that you were going to do in terms of working with kids.
Right.
And now and it kind of go back to that whole writing mind, coach, how can you be creative?
Yes.
To make it then innovative.
Yep.
For who you're dealing with. And I mean, as you said earlier, that confidence, that belief, and now they can be more productive in doing that, man. So, as my mom that's on said, like, that's profound in its own sense. And I think that we mess education up because we take learning out of education, if that makes sense.
Right. One of the things I always do with my kids is that I always told them, if the answer is wrong, give me your thought process. Why did you come up with that answer? What's the reason behind it?
Yeah.
So, okay, here's the problem worth 10 points. And the kid, the answer is not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close. But if they took the time to explain how they came up with that answer, I'm going to give you some points.
Yeah.
Because you actually thought about why you wrote what you wrote. Now, if it's one of them reasons, that you just made some stuff up, I'll write on there, ha, 0. No, I'm not giving you credit for that. I always tell the kids, impress me.
Yeah.
And explain. So for me, it was never a wrong answer.
Yeah.
Because the reason there's never a wrong answer, you learn from mistakes.
Yeah.
And so once I know your thought process and how you think, now I can see why you made your mistake, but now I can pull you and lead you or put you in the right path without messing you up, in your head. I know
now it's just a slight pivot.
That's it. Yep. And I can get you where, and same thing when I'm coaching. I'm a defensive coach.
Yeah.
We talk about angles.
Yeah.
Take that angle.
There you go. Yeah.
How come you couldn't get there in time? Well, coach, she's too fast. No, you took a bad angle.
Yeah.
You take a different angle, you get there. But now, once you get there, you now got to pivot or rotate to square up.
Yeah.
So once, like you said, the method to the madness. At the beginning, they're like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah.
It don't make sense.
Yeah, and because unfortunately, coach, we're both educators and both coaches, but most educators or coaches don't take the time to explain, and it goes back to what you said earlier.
Yeah,
that why. You want to know why they wrote that. So now you can help them.
There you go.
And get in the right way. But now also you're explaining why they should pivot and do the things that you said. Because again, if that ultimate goal is getting to that answer, how can we use both of our whys to be able to come together and reach that common goal, which is them learning, you able to teach, so I love that, man. Now, so after, teaching and, the science and, all of that, you've been the first and only women's coach at South Suburban College. 27, going on your 28th year.
I think I'm the second. There was a guy in front of me.
Okay.
Mr. Fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but I've been there long enough that
that only you remember him.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
but let me ask you a question, man.
Yeah.
Kathleen Simmons.
Uh-huh.
Can you talk about her and what she means to Darrell Scott, the coach?
Dude, you did some research, didn't you?
Coach, man, you
did some research.
Coach, stop it, man. Stop it.
Kathleen Simmons is the first kid I ever signed.
Yeah.
So Kathleen Simmons will always be special to me. She went to Hillcrest High School.
Yeah.
At Shooter. I think she had a twin brother. And she started, in my opinion, Kathleen Simmons is the foundation for everything I've ever done at South Suburban, because she was one of the better players in the area, and I was able to go get one of those kids and bring her into our program. Okay. Man, that's a name from the past. But she's the very first player I ever signed.
Yeah, no, and again, we want to get to the foundation, and as our man, Mark Carpenter say, Coach Carp, he remember Coach Fink, but Carp done been around since
Right.
they built the whole gym.
Exactly. Hey, Carp was there when the colors were orange and black.
Yeah, a long time ago, man, when it was, my granny used to work there back when it was Thornton Community College, which a lot of people don't know. But I wanted to mention Kathleen Simmons because I wanted you to go back and just draw that picture of now we're well beyond 500 wins. But it started there.
It started with Kathleen Simmons. And let me tell you, Coach, the coach I am now, I will destroy that coach I was when I first started. I would eat that guy alive. That first team I had was extremely talented. I think that year we won 21 games. I just didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
I should have taken that team much further than where we went. I had Kathleen. I had a kid coming back, Michelle Urasovich, who was one of the top shot blockers in the country.
Yeah.
I had a kid named Della Walker who could just flat out score. And then I had a kid named Velvety Beard. Velvety Beard went to Thornridge. Velvety was my first Division I player.
Wow.
Vel played 1 year for me, and Loyola made her an offer. And she wanted to come back. And I'm like, Vel, you can't come back. You can't. She wanted to go into business. You can't beat the business program at Loyola. You can't beat the education at Loyola. Yeah. So I encouraged her to go over to Loyola. And she went over to Loyola, got her degree, finished. I could have taken that team so much further than where we went. But once again, I was that hothead. Every call was against me, and screaming and hollering, and it's that. But that was my first team. I think we won our first game, and I had a winning record my very first season, and that set the foundation for everything else. Yeah. I mean, I've only had, I think, one losing season, 2 at the most, and everything from that point on was compared to that first team. And what I always tell our teams is, what are you going to leave to the history of South Suburban women's basketball?
Absolutely.
What are you going to put into the pot?
Yeah.
Vail was my first Division I player. Nobody can be the first. Vail was the first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Kat was my first person I signed. who was it? Lynetta Bentley,
Yep.
my first
Yep.
All-American.
That's my
You know,
girl.
the
Yep.
first two-time
LB.
All-American I had.
Yep. Yep.
You know, so it's just so much. So my question is, what are you bringing to the team? You know, I've had team. Roz was my first pro player.
Yep.
You know, so we always talk about which team had the highest scoring average, which team had the best defensive average.
Yep.
So we always talk about that.
Yep.
You know, who did we get a lot out of? Which team we got more out of that team than anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always putting something. What are you leaving? What are you leaving to create this foundation for the kids that's coming behind you?
That's coming behind you. Yeah, no, and you know, we always talk on this show, Coach, about value. You know, what value are you adding to where you are? You know, and Carp has always said, each and every year that he's been on the sideline, and so prior to me saying that, as you were saying about with, some of your high school players, some of them are still like Shep from, above the rim.
Yeah.
Where they still living there, so it's not about living in that moment, but understanding it's a standard that has been set.
Yes.
And oftentimes with teams now, there's no standard or, based on how good a player is. Now they don't have to live up or meet that standard. Well, from my understanding, and Carp has, to your point, has always let the athletes know, y'all may have won a regional championship, but the standard was 30 wins.
Exactly.
So how, what can you do to contribute and leave your mark on where you were, which is at this particular institution. So now when you come back, it means something. And I think, as Derek said, you had a little Coach Heflin in you. Well, but I'm pretty sure even the same way though, Coach, if you was to go to a Roosevelt game and when Coach Thomas was coaching at Roosevelt, when I was at Hyde Park, we used to go over there and play him. But like, it's a certain pride that you have when you know that you've contributed to that standard.
Yes.
And so therefore, if other people aren't living up to that standard, then we're going to have a problem.
We have a problem. There you go.
And so, I think that's what you're saying, not necessarily living with, in the past with Kathleen and with Vail, but it can never be another first team.
Never.
And so what did we have to do? So at the time of this particular taping, in which it goes all over the country, a couple weeks ago, we had somebody from, Brazil chime in, but at the time of this taping, everybody has been watching The Last Dance, right?
Yeah.
And as Michael Jordan stated, when he came back from baseball and those guys looking at the banners and he like, but y'all ain't earned none of this.
There you go.
So we got to go back to when, I had my wife laughing, I said, man, I remember when it used to be like Temptation concerts and things after the Bulls game, they were doing anything to sell tickets. And that was, hey, we, we can see Jordan for 10, 15 bucks, sit in the 300 level and get a concert. But he, so watching that, I'm like, I understand what he's saying because again, when the lights are on, it looks so much prettier. And that's why I was asking about the practices at Roosevelt.
And you know what? It's one of the things is that every year, when we start our conditioning, everybody have their own stuff. So when October 1st rolled around, people started looking around. Wait a minute, we can officially start practice. Where's my practice gear? My thing is, you haven't earned it.
You gotta earn it.
I'll give you your practice gear when you have earned it. But the entire team has to earn it. I'm not giving it out piece by piece. It has to be a team thing. And I tell the players all the time, at the very beginning, my job is to make you hate me. If I make you hate me, you and your teammates have something in common. You both hate me. And because you both hate me, you're gonna take care of each other.
Yep.
So when I'm going after somebody, you're gonna go to that other player and say, "Don't worry about it. I got your back." And that player, no, we both hate him, so we have something in common. So here comes that bond.
Yep.
Once I get my team to bond, I always tell the team, I'm coming to the team. I'm not gonna make the team come to me.
Yeah.
Because I have a unit. Now I'm going to the team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once I get that going, we're ready to go. But you're going to earn everything you get.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you jack.
Yeah.
You're going to earn it. And how do you earn it? You get out there and work for it.
And you got to work for it.
You got to work for it.
And that's huge, man. You know, and me and you both with the bald heads. I used to tell my players, hey, I know y'all calling me some bald head MFers. Just don't let me hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Go have a team meeting, whatever you need to do. Just don't let me hear it. And as you said, now they have something in common. But in order to get it, because in order to get it, they got to work for it. Ultimately, you're the face of the program. But each team is different, So I used to always tell my players, it's my program, but this is y'all team, right? Who will remember the 2019, 2020 team as opposed to the program where Darrell Scott has been at for almost 30 years, right? That's so each team has their own identity.
Right.
And, to your point, and you've mentioned it a couple of times, to go back to the whole Gary thing. And we talk about it a lot again on this show, the difference in being a hard worker and somebody that works hard. To me, that, somebody that work hard is going to work hard when eyes are on them. Right. That hard worker is going to work, is going to do that hard work. If they washing dishes, if they cooking, if they playing a sport, playing piano, Saturday school, whatever it may be. And so now you set that standard, right? If your parents have said it, if Coach Heflin has said it, now you've said it. So now they got to meet the standard in order to get what's coming to them. Because once you just give it to them, you'll never get them to work hard.
And talking on and piggybacking on that standard, every player that have ever played for me, when they come back, I give them a hug. So happy to see you.
Yep.
You get that degree yet?
Yep.
My first question.
Yep.
So now, no, coach, I haven't gotten it yet.
Yep.
What's your plan?
Yep.
Oh man. All right, coach, I'm getting in next year. Okay. I'm gonna call you next year.
Yep. Yep.
I want you to get your degree.
Yep.
Now, once they get their degree, they come back. Coach, guess what? I walked. What? I walked. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So now you get you have that support that's not going to just let you come in and just say, okay, I've done enough. It's cool. No, you have to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And you go get that degree. That's all I wanted you to do. I'm here to help you get your education. You just happen to throw an orange ball in an orange circle better than most girls.
Better than most.
That's it.
Yep.
Therefore, I need you to get your degree.
Yep.
And so when they come back, they bring their family, they bring their friends. They, Coach got this, Coach got that. But my first question is, did you get that degree?
Yeah.
If you got the degree, I'm good. Now let's talk. But if you don't have that degree, let's sit down first. What's your plan? How are we going to get this degree? What do you need me to do? You need help from anything? And let's get you back in the classroom to get that degree, because once you have that degree, they can't take anything else from you.
Can't take it. And that's way bigger than basketball. As the old saying go, use the game, don't let it use you. And I think that so many, because they haven't been taught that why, they lose sight of the big picture.
The big picture. Yeah. What are you going to give me?
Yep.
Make this easy. You want me to work for that?
Yep.
Ugh, I got to wear that.
Yep.
Okay. Then don't wear it.
You ain't got to wear it. You don't have to wear it. And so, can you explain a little bit, and you touched on it, but I want to slow down here for a minute, Coach. You said that, so Vail wanted to, major in something that a lot of people may not major in, a pretty difficult major. But she had an opportunity to go to Loyola where like that's one of their top programs.
Right.
And she was able to go after her freshman year.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people throw dirt on junior college, because they feel like, oh, the dumb kids go to JUCO, the stupid kids go to JUCO, or let's be honest, the troublemakers
Right.
go to JUCO, the ones that maybe just got out of jail, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Can you really, really break down and explain the benefits of junior college? Because when I first came to South Suburban, Ed Jones told me, he was like, man, listen, it's really like high school. He was like, but in a sense, he said players in junior college, and I want you to really, really talk about it. But from what Ed told me, he said players in junior college are there because they have a deficiency in development, either academically, physically, socially, or emotionally. I was like, wow. I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm comfortable. So can you explain, and for the parents that's out here and the parents that will watching this, and even the coaches, because there's some coaches, I ain't sending my kid to no JUCO.
Right.
Can you dispel that rumor? And because you've had many, many athletes that only been with you for 1 year.
Yes.
And you get some athletes that could have went Division I, and you will get to talking to me or somebody be like, yeah, that kid was recruited by Kansas. Something like, damn, how you pull that off? So I mean, can you dispel that rumor, Coach?
Well, the thing is that junior college has gotten a bad rap from the old days when the so-called rebel kids, you had nowhere to go. Now you still have some of those kids there. I'm not gonna lie, you still have some kids there, but then you have some kids that come in and understand that I'm going to put myself in a position where I'm going to have a small classroom. Okay,
I love it.
If I go to the University of Illinois, my freshman English, there's probably going to be 150 people in there.
Yeah.
The teacher is not going to be teaching the class. They're going to have the teaching assistant.
Yeah.
But if you go to a community college or junior college, you're going to end up with small classes. Probably about 30 kids at the most. That's a big class with 30. Yeah. And what you're going to do,
that should go Bentley.
There's Lynetta.
Yeah.
With those 30 kids, you're going to get that individual attention from your teachers. So now, and then it's the same English class that you'll be taking at the University of Illinois. They're the exact same classes.
Yeah.
So then you get this one-on-one attention, smaller class. You're able to talk to the professor. The professor is able to read your work. All right. So now you put yourself in an environment where you can get more exposure and more time with the professors to get yourself well-rounded. So when you transfer to the 4-year school, now you're a junior. You still got that small class though, because now you declared your major.
Yeah. Oh.
So now you got that small class now. So instead of having 150 people in your class, once everybody declared their major, now you're in your major. Now you go back to that small class. So you always had that small class instead of being lost in the crowd.
Because once you pick that major, you're not in the general population classes.
There you go.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've had kids. I had a young lady named Kelly Wateki who got into the biomedical engineering program at the U of I, which is one of the top biomedical engineering programs in the country.
Wow.
Okay. Letitia Santiago is an educational psychologist. I think Letitia was one of the top students in her class coming out of high school. Kelly was one of the top people in her class coming out of high school. I've had a lot of brilliant kids that decided to listen to what I had to offer, which was smaller class size, that one-on-one attention, and then those classes transfer.
Yeah.
And they decided to come in, I'm going to play. And my thing was, if you play well enough, you might be able to go somewhere else and keep playing for free.
Keep playing for free.
So you're going to school for free.
Yeah.
When you graduate from South Suburban, you got zero debt.
Mm.
You know, you
Say
have
that again, Coach. Say that again.
You graduate from South Suburban, you have zero debt.
Yep.
Now I'm still paying for my student loans, and I've been out of school for 50 years. But you leave South Suburban with zero debt, and a lot of the community colleges you're able to leave with zero debt. Yep. So now when you graduate from college, you get your bachelor's degree, you don't have that financial anchor weighing on you. So I like to tell parents all the time, you know your child better than I do.
Yep.
Is your child ready to go away? Is your child mature enough to get up and go to class? Is your child mature enough to take care of their clothes, get things washed, manage their time? If they're not, you might want to keep them at home.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, they'll be home in December.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't manage their time well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but the idea of dummies going to junior college, there's a lot of kids that use their financial aid to go to community colleges for free, and then get that same degree. They get an associate's degree to move on to the 4-year school to get their bachelor's degree. So now you got an associate's degree.
You got 2.
I'm going to get a bachelor's degree. Now I have 2 degrees, all because I decided to go to a community college first.
And guess what that does, Coach? Not to cut you off, but that goes back to once you get that associate's degree, that builds up that confidence. Hey, I was able to get, again, that confidence, that belief, and that performance. I can go do this thing again because I've already done it once.
And I understand how the educational business works.
Yeah.
I understand who to go talk to about my financial aid check.
Yeah.
I know who to go talk to about I have a problem with this grade.
Yeah.
Where's the writing lab? Where's the math lab? So I know how to use those tools.
Go back to them tools.
I'm even more successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm going to be very high in my class.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come out with that high GPA. So now I'm going to compete for these top level jobs.
Yeah.
So it's all about putting yourself in a position to be able to compete for these top level jobs.
Yeah. And it's a process. And again, go back to what you said earlier. Things take time. I mean, you when I first, I transferred from Aurora to UIC. Small, even though it was but it was a Division III, so kind of like Grinnell, smaller classes, 20, 28 people. Man, my biology class at UIC, it was 500 people in there, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And to the point, like it was no attendance taken. They didn't take attendance during the lecture. The attendance was taken in the labs when you were in there with the TA. Now my wife went to FAMU where everything was kind of small. She like, what's a TA? I'm like, you don't know what a TA is? She like, we ain't never had one of them.
Exactly.
But I'm like, 500 people. Whoa. And so it can be a shell shock. And as you say, now you know where the financial aid office is, where the library is, where the writing center is, all these tools to help you to perform better as a student. And just as a person, but now as an athlete, what are the benefits of going to a junior college?
Well, if first of all, a lot of kids that go to a community college don't fit that prototype, that mold.
Yeah.
Division I coaches look for a mold. If you are a point guard, you have to be a certain height. If you are a 2 guard, you have to fit this cookie cutter mold. If you fit this cookie cutter mold, then they're willing to look at you. If you don't fit that mold, then you have to do something extraordinary for them to even notice you. I like your game, but you can score, but so they always have a but. And the thing about it, at Division I, they're making so much money that they can't afford to bring in a kid, but They got to have the kids that you got. You're the pro. You fit the mold.
Yeah.
So now you go to junior college. You can prove to people I can play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not 6'6". Okay. I'm not 6'6". I'm not a classic 2-guard small forward. But I got so much heart and so much game, and I understand because at the junior college level, you're going to get playing time.
That's what I was waiting on, Coach.
At the 4-year school, you're going to sit the bench because you got juniors and seniors in front of you.
Yep.
So you're sitting. In fact, they might even redshirt you. So now you're sitting. You can't travel, so you're not really part of the team.
Right.
So you can't travel.
Right.
And when you travel, that's when you figure out the hierarchy.
Yep.
All right. So now in junior college, you get playing time.
Yeah.
You get a lot of minutes. You get the individual attention to work on your skill. This is your deficiency. Let's clean that up.
Yeah.
Hey, I know that you keep going to the right.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna do in practice for the next week. You have to go left. Every time you go right, there's a turnover.
Yeah.
So now you become comfortable going left. Somebody come out to watch you. That, hey man, that left-hand kid pretty good. What left-hand kid? That guard. Guard's not left-handed. They're right-handed, but they go left every time. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Because I made them go left. So now you think they're left-handed, but now you send them back to their strong hand. Yeah. Now they're gonna hurt you. Now they're about to give you the business.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you're going to get the playing time. You're going to get the competition. There's some great junior college players.
Yeah.
That end up at Division I schools. And a lot of people don't understand when you look at some of these rosters, you see these big name players, they started off at junior college.
Absolutely.
You know, they just don't promote it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they start off at a junior college.
Yeah.
So now you get to go in and you get to compete. You get the experience. You get the time on the floor to make those mistakes, to learn from those mistakes. You get trapped and you throw that cross-court pass and they steal it. At Division I, you make that pass, you sit down. You're not going to make that one twice. Junior college, you get a chance to make that pass and someone get to explain to you why that pass doesn't work.
Yeah.
And this is what you should look for.
Yeah.
These are your options. This is your progression. So now, when you go to the 4-year school, you understand when I'm in this position, I'm not even looking for that pass. This is my progression here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm able to take advantage of how people are playing me because I have the experience.
Yeah.
It's about playing time.
Yeah.
It's about playing time.
Yeah. And you know, to your point, Coach, 4-year schools, like, again, coaches' jobs are dependent at that next level on winning. Well, I mean, this is the results business anyway, no matter where you are. Right. But I think one thing at junior college, the wins off the court are just as important as the wins on the court.
There you go.
If you're doing it the right way.
Yes.
When you get to that next level, those 4-year coaches, your job is dependent on winning. And so, as you said, you can't, if you're making, $800 to $2 million a year, you can't risk that salary on a butt kid, right? Like, do this, but
exactly.
So, but there are those schools that have to look for quick fixes because the AD done already told me, okay, we gonna see how this year works.
Yeah.
And then we gonna come back and have this conversation again.
Right.
So therefore, and again, this is note time. If y'all ain't been taking notes, because Coach Scott has been teaching. But now that coach got to say, okay, so man, the athletic director then came and talked to Coach Scott. Coach Scott then brought me and Coach Carp in as, assistants. Hey, like, now, either I'm going to get rid of one of y'all.
There you go.
And bring in somebody else that can bring me somebody, or y'all better make it happen. So now what happens is, because we need a quick fix, we can't go get a high school kid because one is that butt factor, but also it's that carryover. Are they ready? Because Now that high school kid turned the ball over. Well, guess what? I'm gonna send you home by the time November come because this ain't working.
It's not working.
But now me and Coach Cart going to look at all the junior college kids that's putting up numbers because we know if we bring that kid in now, they can help us now because they've played roughly 60 games
and
over the course of a 2-year period.
And they've been coached hard.
So they have, as you said, they got that experience and they got playing time. And those are two totally different things, Coach. You know, I mean, can you talk about the difference in playing time and experience?
Okay. Playing time is when you get on the floor. You can mark that for, I've been on there for 3 minutes or I've been there for 10 minutes. Experience is being in situations.
I love it.
In game situations. And how do you respond to that situation? Did you learn from your mistake? You made the entry pass to the post and you keep lobbing it and that guard keep digging down and deflecting the ball. But you keep lobbing it and you keep lobbing it. Okay. You're in the game, so you're getting playing time, but you haven't learned from your experience because you keep making that same pass and it eventually is going to become a turnover. And once it becomes 1 turnover, it's going to become 2. 2 becomes 4, and then you're out the game. So now your playing time just went down, and because you're not playing, you're not getting any experience. But if you are in that situation and you make that little lob and say, no, make that ball fake, and then give that little hook bounce pass in. Look at the post player's hand. Where's the defender playing? So you can recognize where the defender playing. Make that fake that is that guard dropping down because now you might have to make a skip pass because that guard is dropping. I'm going to make you pay for dropping down. So I'm going to, it's the experience is being in situations where you now understand the mechanics of the game. The basketball IQ kicks in. It goes up because of the experience of being in situations. How are you going to react? And as coaches, we all know when the game's on the line, there's certain kids we're not going to put in the game.
Oh, you better not.
Because we know based upon their past experience, this is what's going to happen. You know, now we're going to bring this kid who's been sitting on the bench for 28 minutes. Now we're going to put them in that situation and tell them, I need you to go set a back screen and then flare. And some kids like, what's a back screen?
And so now, and so I'm gonna stop you here because now back screen, flare, dropping down. You know, you got a guard digging down on the ball. So like you've said, all these words. What junior college allows also is for you to understand the language.
The basketball terminology.
Because if you don't understand the language or the terminology, again, with that carryover, once you get to that next level, that coach don't have time. Literally, that coach don't have time to explain all that. And one thing that you've always done well, coaches, is, you know, and I want you to teach on this. You've always been big on skill development, but skill development comes with teaching. And so, and as you said, you're teaching athletes to be basketball players. You're not just teaching athletes to be a guard, or teaching athletes to be a post. So can you talk about that? Because I think that gets lost. One, you know, in your basketball brilliance, because you understand the big picture. Well, what if you grow? Or hell, in your case, what if you don't grow? You know, and again, based on that situation, right? What if you know, it could have been Georgia Tech, it could have been Grinnell, based on the situation. So, but if you learn how to be a holistic athlete or a holistic basketball player, in any situation you're in, you can be successful. So can you talk about that?
Well, you know, there are some coaches that roll the basketball out.
Okay. Speak on it, coach. Speak on it.
5 people out there and y'all just run up and down the floor.
Yep.
Then you got some coaches that will put 5 midgets on the floor, and they will eat you alive.
Yeah.
Because you never know who can play what position.
Yeah.
They're always looking for the mismatch. They're always going to take advantage of the situation. So what we do, we teach the game. When we are walking through our plays, we're explaining why you're going where you're going. What's the purpose of it? Okay. Most of my players will tell you we have a play called Jayhawk.
Now, don't give away your trade secrets, Coach.
Hold on. I've been running this play for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
It's the same play. And some of the opposing coaches will call Jayhawk, and they're like, "Oh, it's Jayhawk. We know what to do." No, you don't. No, you don't. Because no matter what you do, we have a counter for it.
Yep.
Because we teach the game instead of, and sometimes in high school games, the ball has to go here. The pass goes there. And then you go over here, and then you got to go stand there, and then you got to go set the screen, but there's nobody there. So you see kids still go set the screen, but there's nobody there. So who you screening? All right. Well, what we do is let's talk about the situation. If we set the screen, if the person stays underneath, this is how you cut over the top. If that big steps out to show on the screen, then what we do, we set that screen and then you roll hard. But when you roll hard, you keep them on your back. So, we teach all these ideas of where you need to be and why you're going where you're going. What's the purpose of why does the ball have to go here first? Because we need the defense to shift each way. And most people, if you're teaching defense, you're going to shift a certain way. Now, once they shift there, then this is what we're going to do. Oh, well, they're going to play that skip pass. Then this is how we counter.
Perfect, right? Perfect.
So we're going to counter it. So make that pass, but coach, they can steal it. I want them to steal it. Because once they go after and they steal it, they're going to bite every time.
Every time.
So now, and then the coach is fussing at the kid, telling the kid, "Don't go for that." Now I'm gonna burn you on it. I'm gonna burn you on it. We're gonna score it. Don't go for that. What? I'm gonna run my set anyway. Thank you. Because now we're gonna run it the way it's supposed to be run. So the idea is to teach what you want. At the beginning, you're gonna struggle. Like when we teach our kids addition, they can get addition when it gets up to 10. When it gets above 10, now I don't have enough fingers. Okay, so we got 1-place addition, then we got 2-place addition. When you do 3-place addition, some kids still struggle with it, even though it's the same concept. But by the time they understand it's the same concept, I still make the same move, still make the same move.
And Lord knows don't throw no multiplication in there.
There you go. There you go. So when you start teaching these things, these aspects of what you're doing, and once the kids understand why they're doing it, then they see it. But at the beginning, they don't. And you just have to be patient and just keep teaching. Keep teaching. It's going to happen. And then when it happens, you got to stop everything. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's the play. Did you see that? So everybody can stop and say, "Oh, I did set that back screen." But you set it with the right angle. The cutter was able to go, and you got the defender properly. Go to the elbow. Like, where's they're looking at the arms. Where's the elbow? Like, oh my God, you don't know where the elbow is. And so you have to teach.
So let's help the high school coaches out here, coach. How important, because I always talk about the transition from one level to the next. Like, again, when they get to that highest level, coaches don't have time. But it's not saying that your time is less valuable than that coach is on that highest level, because you represent your program as a high level also. So let's help the younger coaches, the youth coaches, as well as the high school coaches. Like, what are some things that they can do to ensure that certain things are met? So like on the JUCO level, or as like, what are some things that high school juniors or seniors should know when it comes time to get ready for college?
First of all, they should know the language, the basketball language.
Okay.
They should understand how to set a screen. They should understand how to fight over a screen or whatever your defensive philosophy is.
Yeah.
We always go over screens. We never go under screens. We always fight over. Okay. So you have to understand whatever your philosophy is, you have to teach the basketball language. So give an example. You may run the motion offense.
Yeah.
I may run flex.
Yeah.
Okay. They're two completely different sets.
Yeah.
But we can still use the same basketball language.
Yeah.
Okay. We still know what short corner is. We
Yeah.
still know what elbow is.
Yeah.
Okay. We still know how to balance the floor.
Yeah.
So that's the basketball language, even though we're running two completely different sets.
Yeah.
So if the high school coaches will use that language instead of go stand over here, go set a screen. Now, you and I both know you go screen a person. You don't screen an area.
Yeah.
And in high school, you see it all the time. They'll just go screen. They'll go screen an area.
Yeah.
And there's nobody there, but you have to go screen a person. Now, the other person got to set that defender up to utilize the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to work on those things, how to set a screen, how to use a screen, okay, and the basic basketball terminology, okay, that will help once they move up. And all the dribble. See, in high school there's no shot clock, so you can dribble, reset, dribble. We ain't got time to reset.
Yeah.
Reset means isolation.
Yeah.
So the idea is to get the coaches to start talking the language to the kids, so the kids haven't just heard it before.
Yeah.
I get kids that don't know what the elbow is.
Right.
I get kids that don't understand how to set a screen on a person. And then I get kids that don't know how to set up the defender to use the screen.
The screen.
We're screening for you to pop out. Why are you just going straight to the corner?
Yeah.
No, you should be going free throw line extended.
Yeah. What's free throw line extended? Back to that. Like,
where is that at?
Yeah. And like, Lord knows, don't tell them like get to the nail. What's the like?
Yeah.
And, so I mean, but I think that's key. You know what I mean? As you said, the language, being able to set a screen, getting over a screen or under a screen, whatever you're going to do with that pick and roll action. And one thing that I think, Coach, is stop teaching pick and roll so much, because pick and roll is a difficult offense to run.
Yes.
If you don't understand basketball,
right?
Because there's so many different things that you can do off that pick and roll. But again, you're a defensive coach.
Yeah,
I've seen, you in some practices like, we're gonna have an offense, but I don't care who scored tonight. We all on defense today. Right. So for somebody like you, if you playing a team that's and they running 4 out 1 in, or like a 4 high, you salivating because you like, I know they don't know what to do, and we gonna tear this pick and roll up. So I would like high school coaches to stop, because they're using pick and roll because they see it in the NBA, and they use that as an isolation for their best player, so to speak, or the player that can score, the most, or kind of score at will.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to understand, as you said, the language and the terminology. And Coach told me, a long time ago, somebody we both know, TJ, told me, said, man, when you can make the players think, that's when game is over.
Yep.
Because all in all, and again, no trade secrets, but this is where you should be taking notes. Most coaches are doing the thinking for their players on the court. So to your point, Coach, if you really, really want to shut a team down, most teams run their offense. Every play starts on the right-hand side.
Right-hand side. There you go.
So if you take that first pass away,
Yep.
now, like you say, that kid go and set a screen in the area and ain't nobody there.
Mhm.
And now they like, well, coach told me I was supposed to go set a screen
That's
once the ball get here. Well,
right.
now that athlete is thinking on their own, and
Mhm.
now they don't know what to do. So to take away that first pass on the right-hand side and make the team go left.
Yep. And then do something stupid like if you go left, trap.
Yeah.
Now you can catch on. Oh my God. And that's the only time we trap.
Yeah.
If you're we trapping.
Yeah. And
we don't know what to do.
And they don't know what to do. So I, think that. So I wanted you to just talk about that so that we can help.
Thing. Stop placing players in one position. Let kids play different positions. If I have a female who's 6'3",
yeah,
okay, yeah, most people gonna say she's gonna play the post.
Yeah.
What if she got guard skills?
Yeah.
Now do you play her in the post? Well, yeah, because now she can use those guard skills. Well, it's hard for guard skills to be used in the post because you got people digging down.
Yeah.
But if I put that kid at the free throw line or free throw line extended to give them room to square up, now they can do their fakes. They got the guard skills. They know how to put the ball on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard to handle.
Mm-hmm.
So don't pigeonhole players in a position because once they move up a level, they might not be able to play.
Yeah. Right. Right.
I've had kids that were post players in high school. And when they came to me and I'm like, okay, you can't play the post. First of all, you're too short.
Yeah.
Second, you're not tough enough.
Yeah.
But you got that third grade protection dribble and you're pretty damn good at it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move you to a guard position.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they see the game completely different. Yeah. Because they've always had their back to the basket. Yeah. Now they're looking at the basket. They understand now how post players think. Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden they know how to attack the rim. They know how post players are supposed to slide. Yep. Now they dishing off. Now all of a sudden, oh my God, that's the greatest point guard I've ever seen. Right. No, the kids understand how to play post, but we just took them away from that where they can have success.
Yep. And that was. So I give you two examples of your players. So Bentley, they went back to back downstate, and this was when only 4 teams went downstate. When it was real basketball, right? Yeah. So back to back went downstate and played the post. Mm-hmm. But when we at the park, she bringing the ball up.
Yes.
And what people didn't understand about Lynetta was she can shoot. Tall, big, but she can shoot. So now that causes a mismatch.
Yes.
But on the flip side, the team that you had with Tasia and with T and all them, and I can't think of the young lady's name, but she was really a guard. We call her Adrian Danley. I can't
Sade Akinde?
Sade, yeah.
Yep.
And so now, from a toughness standpoint, because that's where she was needed for that particular team. Again, right? Talking about teams as opposed to program.
Yep.
She was destroying people in the post because, and me and Carp called her Adrian Danley because she really a guard in a sense, but she killing you in the post because she just understands them angles and she's just tougher. So, but with both of those players, if they don't understand the game of basketball and know how to be a basketball player as opposed to just playing a position, they can't cause mismatches consistently.
Exactly. Because the funny thing is, Sade was a point guard in high school.
See? Yep.
And but Sade would turn the ball over in a heartbeat. I mean, she would turn that ball over. So my thing was, as a point guard, you can't have a high turnover ratio.
Yep.
Because now you're not a point guard.
Yeah.
So let's put her in the high post.
Yeah.
Now she catch the ball, she square. You can't do nothing with it because she can put the ball on the floor.
Yeah.
She's quick and she can jump out the gym.
Yeah.
Now Tasia, on the other hand, was a post player in high school. But Tasia couldn't jump.
Right.
So now, but Tasia could handle the ball.
Yeah.
So I made Tasia a point guard.
Yeah.
Now, Tasia's one of them point guards that, if you think back to Magic Johnson, when he's bringing the ball up and them little guards trying to check him, he just slapping their hands off. Get off. That's how Tasia was.
Yep.
You know, Tasia, you know, I told her when they put their hand on you, hand check, just slap their arm real hard. I said, the ref ain't going to call the foul.
Yep.
Get them off of you. Now, when Tasia go to the basket, because she was a post player, when she gets bumped, she knows how to keep her balance, get the ball up. So that's why I'm talking about putting kids in position where they can be successful. It's all about being, and once again, once they became successful, then their confidence level go up. Then all of a sudden, it's like, I got to hold them back. And they were like, come on, coach, turn us loose. No, not yet. Come on, coach, turn us loose. No. We don't want to show our hand until after halftime. If I show my hand before half, you got 15 minutes to figure it out. After halftime, you only got a minute during that timeout to figure out what adjustment you're going to make. And if one kid don't understand the adjustment, you're still screwed. So you know, like, come on, coach, let's press. Not yet. Come on, coach, let's press. Not yet. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, now. You know, and now they're jumping on people. And everybody's like, man, where did that come from? Because my kids understood that we were setting you up for something. And then all of a sudden, the situation presents itself. They see it. Now, coach, let's do it. Not yet. Hold on. Be patient. And it worked. I mean, people don't understand how good Lynetta Bentley play.
And you know what? And you know, Bentley could probably speak to it too, but like, you know, she caught a little flack for coming to South Suburban, you know, and like, you know, why are you going there? You know, and not under, but throughout that process to see, I was like, damn, like, we didn't think that you know, Lynetta could get any better, if that makes sense, you know, because of where she already was. But, you know, and so it's like, well, why are you going there? You could, you know, do anything. You know, Keela Flagg went to U of I, and, you know, like, well, you know, why are you going there? And, you know, it's like, okay, but as you said, to put them in position to be successful, and like all of your, you know, athletes and all your players, and you know, they start the season throwing up, you know, but at the end of the season, you know, it comes around. And, you know, I always joke, you know, with you, because we always talk, and, you know, come August, you know, or, you know, September, you know, me and you talking, you know, like, coach, man, how y'all looking? Oh, man, we're going to be terrible. Coach, man, tell somebody else that don't know you, because I already know that you priming the, you know, the wheel up, you know, and then I see you again, you know, come in of January, February, you know, and you like, hey, man, we right there, or, you know, hey, we won 12 in a row, whatever. So can you talk about peaking at the right time?
Well, you know what? I'm one of the, okay, let me figure out a politically correct way of saying it.
Say it, man.
Some coaches will fit their schedule to get a certain number of wins. Okay. So you see some coaches, they always got, you know, 25, 26 wins. When you look back at their schedule, they can play Sister Mary of the Blind 3 times, Little Bo Peep University 4 times. So, you know what I mean? So they make their schedule in order to get wins. Then you got those coaches that's going to play whoever's supposed to be good and give their kids baptism by fire. Let you get your teeth kicked in one time. Come in the locker room and say, don't whine to me. Because guess what? The team we play tomorrow is better than the team we just lost to. You're going to have to learn how to do this. And to get them to understand, competing is about going out doing the best that you can do. If you played your best and lost, what more can you say? You played your best.
And that goes back to your point, not to cut you off, because I want you to pick up there too, but to go back to what you said earlier, because again, life and basketball, it's not just basketball, but this relates to in life, because as you said, you know, at the start, and I got it wrote in my notes, you know, sometimes you can lose and still win.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, yep, go ahead. So I just wanted to mention that.
So give the kids to understand, if you played your best and lost, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
If you lost but didn't play well, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Because if you bring that same momentum and level of intensity again, it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Unless you decide you're not going to take it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now here come the roles. Hey, I need you to shoot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my shots.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna guard your player. I know you struggle. I'm gonna guard your player, and I'm gonna give you my shots. Yeah. You score, I'm gonna shut the player down.
Yeah.
Now we're working as a unit. So once you go out and you compete against these better teams, and then all of a sudden you start, you lose by 20. All of a sudden you lose by 5.
Yeah.
You lost by 1 in overtime.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you won.
Yeah.
You won the game.
Now, don't get it misconstrued, anybody. Like, we don't settle for participation trophies. We don't settle for moral victories.
No.
But you got to understand what Coach talking about.
The idea is the competition level.
Yep.
You want the kids to be able to bring their best game every night. And in order to do that, you have to present them with the best competition.
Yep.
Now, I'm not crazy. You need a team in there that you can beat. If you got 5 kids, you can beat them.
Yeah.
That's that confidence game. We're okay. It works.
Yep.
Now they're like, oh yeah, it does work.
Yeah.
Now let's go back out here and compete again. And next thing you know, now they're going out there and is that the best they got? That's the best they got. Are we beating them? Because you're not tougher than us.
Yep. Yep.
You know. So what do? I go into a situation where playoff time, I got 18 wins.
Yeah.
Here's a team that got 20, 26, 27 wins, and I beat them by 20. Everybody's wondering how. Well, you got to look at who I've played.
Yeah.
Okay. So that situation is makes it where it is to put the kids in the position of getting the competition. Helps them at the end when playoffs start, because everybody's what 0-0. Whoever lose goes home.
And on the flip side, Coach, not to cut you off and we winding down, so you can let the wife know that I'm about to let you go in a minute, but on the flip side, when people figure out like, man, why that coach mad? They won by 10. But we should have won by 30.
Right.
So it works both ways also.
Right. We didn't play well. We didn't execute the things that we've worked on.
Yeah.
And that drive coaches crazy.
Yeah.
Because we've spent all this time on this one part of the game and we didn't use it at all. So as a coach, that irritates us. But one of the things, I know we can rewind down. One of the things that I really preach to our kids is being a good teammate. Because once you become a good teammate, when you go out into the workforce, you need to be a good teammate. Yeah. So you can work with anybody.
Yeah.
You can be in any kind of situation because you understand that I might have to take a leadership role with this particular group, or I need to be a good soldier. I'm going to follow the leader.
Yeah.
And in order to be a good teammate, you have to be a good leader, but you also have to be a good listener.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to do both.
Yeah.
And a lot of my players have gone on and have become very successful, have come back and said, man, coach, them little phrases you used to say to us, man, whew, is your heart pumping Kool-Aid or is it pumping blood? They like, I say that at work.
Yeah.
Hey, we can get this done.
Yeah.
My heart pumping blood, know.
Yeah.
So
makes so much sense after the fact, as they say, hindsight is 20/20.
Yes.
Coach, let me ask you this question, man. You are, for those that's watching, you are a Hall of Famer. When you got that letter, got that phone call, you've been doing this, 27, going on 28 years. Like, can you walk us through that emotion or that feeling when you really realize that, I've been selected by my peers
Mhm.
and all of this work, all of these, young ladies. And what people don't know is you coached on the men's side also at South Suburban,
Mhm.
but like all these lives that I've helped change,
Right.
um, it's really come to fruition. So like, can you walk us through that feeling, man, of when you found out that you was going to be enshrined in the,
Yeah.
Region 4 Hall of Fame?
Well, the funny thing is that I I coach for our team,
Mm,
okay? And it was really weird to know other people, other coaches, other athletic directors had paid attention to
mm,
what I've been doing.
yeah,
It was really humbling to, you talk to the ADs, the coaches all the
yeah,
time. We see each other all the time.
yeah,
Hey, girl, you've done a good job.
yeah,
Your teams are tough.
yeah.
I'm like, hey, that's who we are.
Hmm.
But to have your peers feel that you're good at what you do,
Yeah,
that's humbling.
yeah,
But I say it all the time. It wasn't me.
mm,
It was my players.
yeah,
My players got me where I am.
yeah,
I put them in the position. They trusted me.
mm,
I asked them to come play for us.
yeah,
I asked them to buy into what I'm trying to do.
yeah,
And they did, you
yeah,
know, and they were able to use that to better their life.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, and it's kind of weird when some of the players come back and say, you're just like a dad to me,
yeah,
and it's like, wow. Um, I never looked at it like that because I looked at them as athletes.
right.
But my dad one time okay, how crazy my family is. My sister coached for me one year and I fired her. My dad came to one of my practices and I kicked him out the gym.
uh,
Okay.
yep,
And my dad was complaining. He's like, you're working those girls too hard.
yep,
And I'm like, they're not girls.
right.
They're athletes.
Speak on it. Yeah.
Okay. So I was not treating them like girls. I was treating them like athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And athletes like to be challenged. They
Yeah.
like to be pushed. They like to
Yeah.
be tested.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
my mindset and to be able to reach that, those girls did that for me.
Yeah.
That wasn't me. They put in the hard work. And
And
I really appreciate it.
you know, Coach V, he like you ain't got a Facebook. So this, as Coach say, he he a great coach. But Coach V says it all the time, like all the All-Americans, all the games I've won, like it had nothing to do with me. It was like I don't do that if it wasn't for those players.
Right.
And so, as you said, you saw them not as girls or young ladies,
Mhm.
but you saw them as athletes.
Right.
But seeing them as athletes, you understood the challenge you could present to them,
Mhm.
but the way that you had to put that challenge before them, you had to know them as people.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
people get it misunderstood because
Yeah.
they think that we're in a coaching profession. And I tell coaches all the time, and me and Coach V talk about all the time, we're really in the people profession.
Mm-hmm.
And once we understand people,
Right.
then we can coach them or then
Right.
we can educate them because we understand them as people.
Right.
So understand, okay, they're an athlete. So I know where I can push this person. I know what limit I can take them to. And I know their learning style, and they're wired this way, if that makes sense.
Yes.
It's not the average young lady. These are athletes. And so because they're wired a certain way, I can help them get to a certain point to where they can be successful. When you hear the term one pack, one goal, like what does that mean to you?
One pack. We're a team. One pack. So we're the Bulldogs. So a pack of dogs. One pack.
Yeah.
But there's one goal.
Yeah.
So everybody's together is for the same goal. So if you get a pack of wolves running together, what's their goal?
Yeah.
to take down their prey.
Yeah.
Everybody has the same goal,
Yeah.
but everybody has a different part. One wolf runs to get the prey tired.
Yeah.
But somebody got to come in to make the kill. Somebody got to turn it in a different direction. Somebody got to separate it from the herd.
Yeah.
So one pack, one goal. So we get together, we become one pack, and then we have one goal. Yeah. So that's it's been an enjoy. I've really enjoyed coaching the women. People ask me all the time, how come I don't coach the men? To me, coaching women is pure coaching. Okay. With the guys, they can do certain things. They can play above the rim.
Yeah.
Women play below the rim.
Yeah.
So it's more pure coaching, more pure strategy.
Yeah.
And the year I coached the men, people, they thought it was a joke. They were like, what does this dude know about coaching?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
And I started doing things. They're like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Yeah. Because
with coaching, first of all, coaching guys is kind of easy. All the guys want to play.
Yeah.
All right. Girls walk away from it real easy. So it's hard to keep them there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Girls, if they don't believe what you're doing what you're saying,
that's big.
You're done.
That's big. Yeah.
Once they trust you and believe in you,
they run through a wall.
You can make them run through a brick wall.
Yeah.
So that's why I prefer coaching women. It's just a strategy part of it.
And man, as Coach V said, that he on your butt for firing your sister. And then Carp said that he'd rather coach the men. He say, not me. But man, we've been knowing each other for a long time. And you never at a loss for words for those people that know you, but I can feel your passion and your emotion when you were just talking about, one pack, one goal, or just going through that, because it's, one is bigger than basketball, but like all those, as Lynetta said, them long nights, and what people don't understand is once they trust you trust your coaches too. Coach say, you fired the sister, you kicked your daddy out, but the running joke is Darrell may show up to practice, Darrell may not, but you're an excellent delegator because but when it's money time, at the beginning or at the end, you're gonna be there. You're gonna put that foundation there. All the open gyms and everything. That don't mean a lot. But when it's time to get that 1-3-1 in place or whatever we're doing, it's gonna be there, and it's gonna be some long nights. As you said with Coach Heflin, we've been in here this long, or we worked this hard, because we're setting the foundation and getting everything to to run and go right. But let me ask you this, man. Can you talk about, in all honesty, talk about where you would be as a coach without having your wife by your side and being such a supporter? Because it's, I always say coaches' spouses, because it's women that coach too. But it has to be a special person to be a spouse of a coach, because the time spent, the hours spent, hell, the time, we on here 2 hours, but can you just talk about her dedication to your one pack, one goal, and understanding the big picture, being with you since college, but it's probably going to be the best live I taught you all tonight, but can you really talk about that? Because I think that people and students, student athletes, parents, whatever, miss that. Because coach should be here, he should be doing this, doing that, but you got a family too. So can you talk about, man, the benefit that your wife has done? Because hell, part of that Hall of Fame is hers too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my wife allows me to coach.
Yeah.
She has supported me 100%.
Yeah.
You know, uh, she's ride or die.
Yeah.
You know, she talks about the team. She wants to make sure that things are in place.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, you got tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Step back from it. You,
Yeah.
you, you got tunnel vision.
You
And
too close to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she really supports me, and I can't say enough about her. Like I said, she allows me to coach. Dude, I don't know about your wife, man, but I got the best wife in the world.
Yeah.
My wife is my wife, dude.
Yeah.
She's that's the love of my life.
Yeah.
And she really, really, really helps me. She'll say, "Hey, let's have the girls over." And I don't want them at our house. Let's, I want you to do something for them. Let's do this, do that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I could have never done any of this without her support.
Yeah.
And her love.
Yeah.
And like I said, she's ride or die, man. She's with me, and she supports me. She thinks I'm crazy sometimes, but she really, really, I think she enjoys that I'm happy in doing this. She fussed at me by being ultra competitive, but she's able to get me to look at things and stop making this so competitive. It's more to competing. There's other things that you need to look at.
Yeah.
You need to carry yourself a certain way.
Yeah.
You need to do things a certain way.
Yeah.
Watch how you talk to people.
Yeah.
So all of those things, she when she will, once again, she will grab my coattail and grab me by the collar, and she'll, she gonna put me on the straight and narrow, and I love her for it.
Yep. Hey man, that's amazing. And I think oftentimes, spouses go unnoticed. Me and my wife, we used to do, the Thanksgiving dinners and things like, because they're still kids in a sense, or and it's so much athletics.
Yeah.
And then the only time that they have now, it got to be student, but they also have personal lives, but they also have to feel, again, we're in the people business. So they also have to know that we really care about them as people. So if it's, hey, I hadn't been around when you come in, like, hey, these are the shoes we getting this year. And they like, that's the best thing that has ever happened to some of them, and it's like, wow, but when Coach Scott goes into a gym, and this is my last question. When Coach Scott goes into a gym, what is he looking for? And I want you to help the athletes, but I really want you to help the parents on this one. What are certain things that you look at and say, I can use that player? But on the flip side, what are certain things that you looking for to say, no, that one ain't a good fit?
It's so weird is that I look for, first of all, I look at how does a kid run? Do they run like an athlete? Athletes run a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm looking at what's their body language on the floor.
I love that.
Are they saying something to the official? Are they pouting? Are they supporting their teammates? And then I want to see if the coach take them out the game, what do they do when they walk to the bench? Do they walk to the end of the bench and sit by themselves?
That's big.
Or do they walk and sit by the coach and then people can talk to them? You know how some of the teammates hold their hand up for some dap?
Yeah.
And you just, kind of just wave them off.
Yeah.
That's a bad teammate. That kid is selfish. But the kid that goes down and hits everybody's hand, sits in the middle, timeouts. They need water. Is that kid gonna go get the water bottle? Or are they gonna look around like, I'm not in the game, I'm not thirsty? Are you gonna go get the water bottle?
Yeah.
That's a teammate.
Yep.
How do you deal with the head coach when the head coach says something to you? Do you talk back? My players don't talk back. That's a no.
Yep.
But those are the things. If you're talking back to the coach, you can't play for me. If you're that kid that getting water for the kids that's in the game is beneath you, you can't do that. You can't play for me because I get water for players.
Right.
If I'm getting water for players, then everybody getting water for players.
You better get it. Yep. And I want the parents that's watching this to understand. Coach ain't mentioned nothing about athletic ability, or really ain't mentioned nothing about physical ability. Nothing that you said, other than how they run.
Yeah.
But that's kind of coordination. Can you work with them? But the body language, are they a good teammate? Are they supportive? How do they act when they coming out? Are they coachable? And I think that so many parents just feel like my kid can put the ball in the basket, so everybody's going to want them. But if you're not a good teammate or a good person,
and what do you
turn off?
What do you do when that team is shutting you down? How do you respond to that? Are you looking at the officials complaining, or are you just working hard, run their kid through screens, doing some other things, to get yourself going? Or are you just in there, just pass me the ball, and then when you get the ball, it's one-on-one, one against five. You're just driving, the rest of your teammates just standing around. No, because here's the problem: you're not getting no shots with me. The highest scoring average I've ever had in my entire time at South Suburban is Lynetta Bentley at 20 points a game. I've never had a kid score average for a season more than that. Because we share the ball. So you're not going to have that kid that's averaging 26, 27 points. That's not going to happen because we share the ball too much. And then if we're a big, I'm taking those kids out. I'm giving the other kids that haven't had a chance to play. A lot of them, they getting their time.
Absolutely.
And now, I put kids in games and the other team make a run and get back in it. And they're like, okay, put your starters back in. Nah, nope.
They got to learn.
They got to learn. They got to hold that lead. Because if I bail them out, the first thing they're going to do is like, they're coming back. Coach, take us out. But if they know I'm going to leave them in there, they got to deal with it.
How do you deal with adversity?
And they learn that coach is not going to bail us out. We can do this.
No, and I want people to understand that, to your point. Yeah, Mama, Lynetta, she's a Rich South star. That's how stars do. But when you come in the gym, you understand that they can play a little bit, or you're not going to even be there. I won't. So you haven't, didn't mention nothing about the scoring ability or nothing. Like, you're there because you feel like that they can play already enough for you to be there. It's one thing when the assistant coaches come, and this is a nugget that I want parents to understand. Assistant coaches can recruit, they can be interested in you,
right?
But you really not, they can scout you, they can evaluate you, but you're really not being recruited until you start having a conversation with the head coach or one of the assistant coaches that's a decision maker.
There you go. There you go. Because see, here's the thing. If that assistant coach is putting an offer on the table, you're being recruited.
Right. Yep.
Now, if that assistant coach says my head coach will call you,
yep,
you're not recruited yet.
Yep.
Because my first thing is, what's so special about her?
Yep.
What's so special?
Yep.
But if she's like, coach, we got to get this, my assistant coach, we got to get this kid.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, what's the weakness?
Yep.
What's that kid's weakness?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. Then we're not ready to recruit that kid yet.
Yep. Yep.
I need that kid. I need you to tell me what's that kid's weakness.
Yep.
Now, once you know the weakness, can we fix it?
Right.
If we can fix it, put an offer on the table.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, if the assistant coach put an offer on the table, you are officially being recruited.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if the assistant coach say, "I'll have the head coach call you," or the head coach will get back with you, okay, you're not being recruited yet until the head coach call you.
Yep, you was
now,
probably just being evaluated.
And you thank you. You're being evaluated, and the head coach is asking questions. What's your weakness? What you like? What you don't like?
Yep.
You're still being evaluated.
Yep.
It's when he or she says, you know what? We love your game. You'll fit well with our program. This is what we want to offer you.
Yeah.
Now you're being recruited. So now they have to compete with the other schools.
Yeah.
That has put an offer on the table.
Yeah.
But if no offers on the table, you're being evaluated.
Man, I love that, man. I love just that breakdown, how you broke it down, just, the education, because, so many parents get lost or mixed up. Right. Athletes get lost and mixed up. Coaches be like, yeah, they're getting recruited by this school or this school. No, probably not really, until you really, really understand.
We've had some coaches tell us, oh, this kid's big time. Okay. Who's on her right now? Who has made an offer?
Yeah.
Well, nobody yet. The coach, first of all, she's a senior.
Right.
If she's big time, they'd have been on her since she was a sophomore.
A long time ago. Yeah.
She would have signed as a junior or early decision senior year. She wouldn't be available now.
Yeah.
So if she's big time, what it is that a couple of big time schools may be evaluating her because if these other kids don't come through, they got to have somebody to fall back on.
Yeah.
Okay. And if they haven't made you an offer or invited you down on campus, okay, you need to start looking. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
And for us, because we have limited number of scholarships.
Okay. Yeah.
See, I can't put out 20 offers.
Right.
We picking the kids we want and we put the offer on the table.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure how much time you need.
Yeah.
Well, I need about another week. Okay, I'm giving you that week. Now, did anybody else offer you? No. You still want to come with us? I need more time. Okay, I'm going to put this offer on the table to another kid. Now it's first.
Yep. Yeah.
So if you don't get what you're looking for, then you call me back. I think I want to come to South Suburban. You can come on. I'd love to have you. But the problem is I don't have any scholarship money for you.
Yeah, that money gone.
Money's gone.
That money gone. And a lot of people, and I've had so many coaches come on the show, like especially during this time, coaches have said that they've pulled so many offers because kids not waiting. And that is, we don't have time to talk about that. But now, you got the street agents in their ear, or you got other people in their ear that's, telling them, man, you can do better. And the thing about it, again, with the right fit, I've seen, and, as Roz said, like, say that, like, Roz, no. Roz has been there. Roz has had her own program, has been part of a program, been back. But, like, I've seen you let a couple players go because they were able to go on to the next level after that first year. So you didn't pigeonhole them. You didn't hold them. Right. But also, I've seen you let players go because they thought the grass was green on the other side. And you like, hey, again, that's what you want. Then go ahead. So I've seen you on both instances do what you felt, what you felt was best for the kid.
Right.
And sometimes what the kid felt was best. And those two, and I don't want to talk about the kids, but I know for certain two of them kids were like, Coach, I shouldn't have left.
Hey, all we can do is tell them what we can do for them.
Yep.
But like you said, the grass is always green. And once you get over there, and then it's like, man, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Of course not.
Yeah.
Why would you leave us when you had this in place? You had the ball was coming. The ball was coming through your hands.
Through you, Coach.
Played as many minutes as you want. You got as many shots as you wanted. You were the go-to player.
And you sold the dream.
but somebody told you that you can go bigger.
Yep. They sold
Well,
you a dream.
well, here's the issue. There was a couple of Division I schools that put offers on the table, and I was like, you might want to take that offer.
Yeah.
No. And then they go somewhere else, and then all of a sudden that Division I offer is gone.
It's gone. Yeah.
But one of the other things that happened was that the new school they went to, the coach didn't help them. So they called me, can you help me get in school?
Yeah.
Of course I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to help my players first.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I'll get you on the back end. I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave you out there.
Yeah.
But I got to take care of my players 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's some kids made some bad decisions.
Yeah.
But, I told them what we could do. Other people told them what they could do.
Yeah.
And that kid and their family made the decision that was best for them. See, I always look at it as the kid made the decision that's best
for them. Yeah.
Okay. It was against me, but they did what was best for them. So why am I upset?
Absolutely. Yeah.
They did what was best for them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It works that way.
Man, I love this, man. We can go on and on and on forever. But Coach, man, for those coaches that's watching or coaches that will see this, we simulcast on a lot of different avenues right now. And if they feel like they have an athlete, they understand that Coach Scott is going to teach the game of basketball. Coach Scott is going to teach them about life, teach them about character, integrity. It's bigger than basketball. For those parents that know, hey, I would love for my daughter to play for a coach like that, or coaches that know that they have, athletes that can, possibly help add value to what you do with your program. How can they get in contact with you? I don't want you to give out your phone number, but is it the school, school email, personal email? We can have somebody, put it in the chat also.
My personal email is the easiest way to contact me. And that's at Scott, SCOTT, Darrell, DARRELL 87 at Gmail.
The Gmail. There you
now,
go.
Okay. I don't do the Facebook thing. Yeah. My assistant coach, Coach Turner, does the Facebook. So if you reach out to Coach Turner on Facebook, you can go through her.
Roz T.
You can go through her. Yeah. And my coaching staff, they're my right hand.
Yeah.
I got 3 coaches. Roz played for me. I hired my sister back again.
You hear that, Coach?
I hired my sister back. And then I have a gentleman who did a lot of AAU coaching who's retired. So we, the 4 of us work very, very, very well together.
I love it.
And, Roz make that call. If Roz see a kid that she want, Roz put the offer on the table. She don't even have to call me.
That's what I'm talking about. If it's not the head coach, it's the assistant coach that's a decision maker.
And Roz is a decision maker.
Yep.
So Coach Roz can do that, and or they can hit me on give me an email. We'll definitely get back to them. Here's the thing: if your kid don't fit with me, and you give me some information about your kid, maybe a short film clip, I'll send the film to somebody else, or I'll call the coach and say, hey, this kid's looking for this. I don't have room, or the kid, we don't have what the kid is offering. I think you might like this kid.
Yeah.
So I will share that information.
Absolutely. So y'all got, Coach Scott, email. Hey, we was able to teach my mama some things tonight, man. So we, we did our job. I always say, we did God's work if, we, were able to, teach. But, definitely reach out, to Coach.
Okay. Yep.
Reach out, to Roz. And, again, as I say, the show is being brought to you by Understanding. Carp say, can he get on that staff?
No. Carp has a chance. No.
Hey, notice I didn't I didn't even bring up the men days with you, Carp, and man. Yeah, Walt, man, I ain't even bring up none of them days. That's a whole nother show. But
Yes,
I just want you guys to understand again, the show is being brought to you by Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. The show is birthed from this book. As we talk tonight, this basketball concepts and some of the things, transformative leadership, as that's the first chapter. As Coach talked about, the first year he got there, it all had to be done his way. Well, it's really like three types of coaches, and you got to understand what type of coach you're dealing with.
Right.
But we get into that. We get into developing a team culture. The true definition of success. Confidence is half the battle. Team chemistry, so really all the things that we've talked about. Basketball principles that now you can use and apply them to life to be a better athlete, to be a better leader, as parents to understand their coaches, their kids' coaches better, for coaches to continue to learn and get better. So this is the first book, Coach. And then the second book, Creating the Perfect Storm. So I wrote this one because many people feel as though the game is played from the shoulders down. The game is really played from the neck up.
From the neck up.
And if you aren't mentally tough and mentally strong, and so there are times in which, I want to bring it up, but like you say, Scott Skiles, he was just in the zone that night or that whole time, and probably can't even explain it. When athletes get in the zone and want them to explain, they be like, I don't really know what happened. I don't really remember it. I just know that I was in a mental place to where everything worked.
Yes.
Well, you have some coaches that can motivate you, but then that can motivate athletes, but then you have some athletes that can just inspire themselves. So when Michael Jordan say, LeBradford Smith put his arm around him and said, good game, or George Karl didn't speak to him, right? Well, those great players or those great coaches, and you've done it, Coach, even as a coach, you can manufacture something in your head to say, nah, this gives me a reason to not lock everything in and go at it. And that's what this book is. This book is to helps you to be that coach to yourself, to understand through imagery, through visualization, through meditation, right? Being able to put yourself in that situation before you get into that situation. And so while this book is talking about life and basketball concepts, this book here, the reason I wrote this, and this is really my best work, probably as a writer, right? We talk about as you were talking about earlier as a writer, but to just understand how people think and what things you can do as yourself to manufacture that mindset. If you got to pass a test, if it's, you need to, get a job, be better at home, better on the court. And that's why I call it creating the perfect storm. When you put your development, your performance, and your experience into one, now you can create that perfect storm. And so you actually, Coach, they get both books in a bundle with the first 2 seasons of this show. And so we're on our 4th season now. And so, we didn't talk about it, but you alluded to it, the importance of professional development. If you're not growing as a person, if you're not a lifelong learner, then you're wasting time. And what better time do we have now than to study your craft, than to get better, and as you said, people may not want to learn because that's the hard way. You don't roll balls out, right? Well, the athletes that read and take time to watch film, go over things, you're going to get 2 seasons of the show. Now, me and you've been talking. I got 3 pages of notes plus a napkin full, right? So that go to show you that, I'm learning as I'm hosting this show, and I do it each and every night that we're on. I want to learn, and I want to learn. And so that's what this bundle does, so I drop, the link, the way you can get, your bundle at a, fairly decent, rate, especially for what you're getting. with 2 seasons and 2, books. But, I always just got to do, some housekeeping. And, these shows 4 nights a week, often 5 nights a week, are totally free. Ain't nobody else doing this, Coach. And before we went on, I said, this is a professional and personal development.
Right.
We're talking basketball, but we're really talking growth. And so we can get on and talk about the Michael Jordan and LeBron, all that. That is not going to help you become better, a better performer, a better person. Right. But what I come to do on this show each and every night is to add value. Like I said, I've never seen you speechless. And so that tells me that the show probably went beyond your expectations of what it was going, to actually be. But this is what we're all about, so, the link is there. But before I let you go, Coach, and again, nothing, I mean, you already know how the show go, but I have a thing called the hot seat. Just some real quick questions, nothing controversial. But I want to just ask you, 2 or 3 questions. And then I'm gonna have you, leave us on a closing thought. But my first question to you is, who is the best player that you have played against with your own, like you've been on the court with, who's the best player in Gary, Indiana that you've ever played with? Let me just break that down.
I've ever played with Tim McAllister.
Tell us about him.
Went to a different high school. He went to Gary Westside.
Okay.
He went to Oklahoma. He played with Wayman Tisdale.
Okay. Yeah.
He was the freshman of the year in the Big 8.
Yep.
He was the Big 8 at the time.
Big 8 back then. Yeah.
Unbelievable score. Unbelievable. Big, about 6'3", 6'4" as a guard. Could play the point. He was just unbelievable. So I would say he's the best player I've played with, even though we play summer ball together.
Okay. My next question. Now I'm gonna go to the city on this one, man, and I just want to know your thought. If you could pick one, E.C. Hill or Kim Williams?
Wow.
That's why it's the hot seat, man.
Wow.
Whitney Young and Marshall. Who you rolling with, Coach? You can only get one. EC or Kim?
Guys, this is bad because I know them both. Kim Williams.
Okay, why?
I think EC was more polished.
They called it a Lady Jordan, Coach. They called it a Lady Jordan.
No, I think EC was more polished, but Kim had that killer instinct.
She
just didn't play. She just didn't. She just brought it.
Nasty. I mean, and E.C. Hill was the player of the year. Lady Jordan is what they called her.
Yep.
But Kim Williams did some things that men couldn't do.
Kim Williams was an assassin. She refused to lose.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
He was scary.
Yeah.
Don't catch that. I'm gonna hear that one. He's gonna let me have
it. Best basketball moment as a coach.
The first time we won the region to go to the national tournament. The very first one.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So now to piggyback on that, and it may be different.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Lynetta and Roz probably both want to hear this. Who is your best team? I didn't say favorite. I'm gonna cut you that slack. Who is your best team?
Gosh.
Out of all the years. And I understand best in your context.
Yeah. Um, that's tough because I got three. I got three.
Okay, give them to me.
The team with Lynetta, the team with Roz. Lynetta went to the national tournament.
Okay.
Roz team didn't make it,
Okay.
but they were really, really good.
Okay.
And then I had a team with a young lady named Leslie Higgs who went to Rich South also.
Mm.
She took her team to the national tournament.
Mm.
Higgs once again was a post player that I moved to the point.
Yeah.
She was just tough. She played hard. She willed her team to win. I mean, she could put her team on her, and she wasn't a great scorer, but she could put her team on her back. She knew how to get the right people the ball at the right time.
Yeah.
But Lynetta team with Lynetta, Demetria Dorsey, Katie Williams.
They was tough.
Ooh, they were not nice. Nothing nice. And Roz team was Roz, Carrie, Fee. They were good.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I love it, man. I love it, Coach, man. In my, deepest sincerity, man, I appreciate you taking the time, away from your family, but just to come and, chop it up, man, with your man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me.
I think that for as long as you've been around, those that know. But I think, now with just the evolution of basketball and, nobody really does their homework. Nobody really understands the history of basketball,
Right.
So I just hope that we were able to, show what a great basketball mind, you have, and also what a, beautiful person you are on the inside as well as out, man.
I appreciate it.
And just to shed, a little light, because the South Suburban men's team get a lot of pub and they have earned it. But,
Yes.
I think that, in its own way, they both make each other go.
Yes.
And we didn't get into that. That's a different conversation. But when you have programs, right? When you're building a program, they can feed off one another.
Right.
But I think that the women do so much because it's nothing like a double header, and you getting ready and you in that tunnel and the women win and they coming up. Nothing like it's no better feeling, and especially on the road. And I'm speaking from being there and being a head coach. Like at Malcolm X, when we walk into a gym and it's a business trip, but to walk in that gym and see, okay, y'all girls is handing it to y'all. So we better do our job, and I don't think that the women program get as much credit for pushing the men in that way, that mental way, to understand like we came here to get two.
That's
or
right.
we gonna send them home with a 0 tonight. Just to put a little bit, more eyes on, South Suburban. And the thing that I love about you is that, you're going to take those people that's the right fit, but you coaching home kids too. You ain't got to go way out of your environment, your backyard, to find those players, because again, you're gonna teach them, and you're gonna grow them. So, what people didn't think, when I told V, I said, man, I had Darrell on. They was like, oh, Darrell? Hey man, we pulled it off, man. We pulled it off. So man, with you being such a private person, but just to come on here and teach us tonight, man, I sincerely, appreciate it, man, from the bottom of my heart, and
you,
man, hey, I appreciate it, and later on, man, once we get through all this, we're gonna have to really, really set it up, to where come in, man, and let me talk to the girls and give them something, another voice, but to understand again, it's a pride thing. You got to understand that when you put that jersey on, and I tell no matter what school I go, somebody's paved that way. And teams ain't gonna just lay down because you put that jersey on, but also it's some teams that's still looking to kick your butt from what Roz and Bentley did back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And so for athletes to hear that from an outside voice, really can really stir the pot, man. So I really appreciate it. But in closing, Coach, man, can you close us out and just let us know, man, how can we make basketball better?
Oh, wow. Well, I think the one way to make it better is if you're going to compete in it, have passion for it. Don't do it for the accolades. Unless you're at the higher level, you're doing it for the paycheck.
Right.
But you're doing it to become a better person, and you're doing it for the camaraderie, to be social, to be a team, to learn how to deal with people that are just as competitive as you are, but at the same time to work as a unit to get that one goal, one pack, one goal. So to take that into your everyday life is how we'll make it better.
Hey, I love it, man. Coach, man, tell your wife I said thank you. If it's game night, whatever y'all, gonna go do. To a young lady, quote, please show me something I haven't seen yet. Until you do that, you need to do what I say. Hey, Stokes came with it, man, on the closeout. But it's true,
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely true, man. So, but yeah, Coach, man, I definitely appreciate it. I hope that your family enjoyed it too. And as I say always in closing, keep striving for the top.
Yes, sir.
Because it is crowded as hell at the bottom.
At the bottom. I hear you.
At the bottom, man. So until next time, y'all, grab, your book bundle, reach out to Coach Scott. And, until next time, we will see y'all a little bit later. Thank you for watching again. Peace. Coach, I sincerely thank you, my brother.
No problem, man.
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
Take it easy.
All right.
Yes,
Peace.